Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
We've reached our cruising altitude of 10,700 feet. Go ahead and sit back, relax, enjoy the flight to Dallas, Texas, home of the biggest bout of the summer, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz.
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of the program. And for just the second time in our illustrious history dating back to 2009, we are on the road, my friends. Yes, just the second time in our history, the first time since 2017 when Floyd Money Mayweather fought Conor McGregor. Here we are in Big D in Dallas, Texas. There's an actual ring behind us over here. This is incredible scenes. We're here, the open workouts for the highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Nathan Diaz this Saturday night on DAZN, pay-per-view. We are here, brought to you by DAZN, in conjunction with the DAZN Boxing Show, my good friends over there as well. Some of them will be joining us on this program. We've got so much to get to. Every single big name on the fight card this Saturday going down at the American Airlines Center here in Dallas. Every single big name will be doing an open workout in that ring right over there. Look how amazing this ring is. I mean, just look at the setup. Look at the production value. This is incredible stuff, and we are brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at DraftKings. As you know, DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of not only this program, but of the UFC as well. So please download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Put in the code, the MMA Hour. That lets them know we sent you. Thank you for the support, DraftKings. And, of course, like I said, we are brought to you by our good friends over at DAZN. Of course, Saturday, August 5th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. And we just found out earlier in the week, also on ESPN Plus pay-per-view here in America, worldwide on DAZN pay-per-view. And, of course, in Canada, you can get it on DAZN as well. You can get it on your local satellite and cable providers. It's going to be Jake Paul versus Nathan Diaz. First fight for Nathan Diaz since he left the UFC last September. Pro boxing debut for the big man against the problem child, Jake Paul, who is coming off that loss against Tommy Fury. Who has more pressure on their shoulders? Who has more to prove? I don't know. I think there's more pressure on Diaz's shoulders, if I'm honest. And I did the face-to-face with him yesterday. He left in the middle. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Of course, with DAZN, you can watch on any device, TV, console, mobile, much more. Watch Jake Paul versus Nathan Diaz Saturday, August 5th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Again, sign up at DAZN.com. That's DAZN.com. Sign up now, because you don't want to miss it on Saturday. Guys, the gang's all here. Everyone's here. All the luminaries are going to be here, but even Corporate Alex is here. Sloppy Joe is here. Mysterious Frank is here. And GC and New York Rick are here. In fact, they're our correspondents today. Are they standing by? Is GC here and New York Rick, the birthday boy?
How you doing, Ariel?
Oh, my God. You know yourself. Hello, gents. Howdy.
I mean, howdy, brother. How we doing, man?
I mean,
Beautiful Dallas, Texas. We're here. Look at this. I mean, we got a crowd behind us. We're about to see Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. I mean, it's incredible. Energy's high right now.
What are the levels? What are the levels? We said when this was announced back in April, I think the quote from New York Rick was a 13. Did you say it was a 13? What are we at right now?
We started at 11. We're probably at 13 now.
You don't think we're past 13? I feel like we're past 13.
Out of 10 on a scale
of 1 to 10.
1 to 10, we're at a 13 right now. I think we're at an 11 right now. I think as we approach the fight, as we get closer to Saturday, we'll get to that 13.
We found out yesterday GC's first work trip, first time in Texas. I mean, we've been here 24 hours. Initial thoughts?
Love it. I mean, it's hot. I mean, it's like 105 degrees out right now. But love it, dude. I mean, I got the cowboy hat. If I can take a step back here, you just don't mess with Texas, baby. Everything's bigger here. I've learned that. My portions are bigger with my food. My hat looks great. Belt buckle's bigger. I'm loving it, man. Everything about it. I got my first howdy this morning when I walked into a coffee shop.
This is tremendous. We'll be checking in with those guys throughout the show, and I'm looking forward to that. They'll be talking to the crowd. They'll be talking to the fans. The man that you're hearing behind me is a very talented young man named Thomas Triber. He's the PA announcer. You'll hear him introducing the fighters throughout the day. We're going to be with you for the next 4 hours as everyone will be doing their workout. But why are we here? We're here for Jake Paul versus Nate freaking Diaz. Here's a quick look at what's to come on Saturday live on DAZN.
This is it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view August 5th. An icon of the MMA game, ready for war against a global superstar. Set to bring the pain, to silence the haters, and leave one victorious. Like it or not, this is the most explosive fight of the year. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Ready for war. August 5th, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view. Sign up at DAZN.com.
So there you have it, and there is Thomas Triber. I mean, what a setup, and what a crowd here today. I hear they're expecting a ton of fans. I even saw a BMF title before. I saw all kinds of things. There's a bunch of influencers here. There's fans here. I got my boys over there. I mean, this is a tremendous time to be alive. I'm so happy to be here working with DAZN. Appreciative that they brought us out here, that they're sponsoring the show, that we're working with the DAZN Boxing Show as well, because this is a big deal. And of course, we tend to focus on mixed martial arts here on this program, but you know, we like to flex our muscles, a little sweet science, a little darts, a little pro wrestling, etc., etc. But let's be honest, in my opinion, this story is the Nathan Diaz story for all of us. One of the most beloved fighters in the history of mixed martial arts. One of the most widely respected fighters in the history of MMA. He bet on himself. He walked away. They tried to screw him on the way out, right? They tried to screw him. They booked him against Khamzat Chimaev last September, and the MMA gods said no. They said absolutely not. We're not going to let this happen. Not to the pride of Stockton, not to Nick's younger brother. And so what happened? It was one of the craziest scenes in the history of the sport. In like a 4 to 5, 6 hour insane stretch. It ended up being Tony Ferguson as his opponent. He ends up winning that fight. He plays out the contract. He becomes a free agent. We think it's going to be him versus Logan Paul for a second after Jake Paul loses to Tommy Fury. What happens? He goes the Jake Paul route, and he gets that fight. And now we're getting it on Saturday. And of course, this is a co-promotion between MVP and Real Fight Inc. And the woman that you're seeing right now is Shadeja Green, who hails from Paterson, New Jersey. And she's been going back and forth with the likes of Clarissa Shields I've seen. She's a big-time prospect. Obviously, MVP just started out as Nikisa Badarian and Jake Paul doing their thing, but it has grown exponentially. Amanda Serrano on this card. H2O Silv on this card. Shadeja Green on this card. And they also signed a young man named Javon Wana Walton, who's an absolute phenom. You may have seen him on the TV show Euphoria. He's going to be doing an open workout as well. This guy's 17 years old, the youngest athlete ever signed by the Jordan brand. And him on the pads actually reminds me a lot of myself on the pads, if I do say so myself. He is lightning quick. He's got quite the look. He's a good-looking young man, and he is a big-time star when it comes to the world of boxing. Like, he's an actor. I believe he does some modeling, but he actually wants to pursue a career in boxing, and he has the credentials for that as well. So this is a very, very interesting signing for Jake Paul and company. His documentary came out earlier this week on Netflix, so there's a lot to like as far as the MVP business is concerned. So a lot of people are going to be stopping by. In a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by my good friend Ade Oladipo, who does tremendous work for DAZN and the DAZN Boxing Show. He is a tremendous talent who we saw on the program after the Katie Taylor-Chantel Cameron fight, and on this day where they announced officially that Katie and Chantel are going to do it again on November 25th. Here he is, my good friend Ade Oladipo. Wow, look at us.
Look at this.
Look at us.
Look at this. It's
I
like
can hardly
London
even
buses.
recognize you.
London buses. Like, one comes and we come again and again and again.
It's amazing. It's so great to see you.
You too, my man.
Thanks
How
for
are you?
joining us in person.
Yes.
I mean, 3 years ago, you would have paid money to be on this show.
I would have.
Now here you are, almost big timing me.
Something.
Yes.
I would have dropped something. Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you here, and you're looking svelte. You're looking fantastic.
Thank you.
You know,
we're trying to. At least,
I follow you for, you know, the boxing insight, some MMA insight. You're very knowledgeable when it comes to MMA. Your football knowledge is a little bit, you know, comme ci, comme ça.
Okay.
But now all of a sudden when I follow you, all I get is fitness tips,
Yeah.
the gym at your hotel, the road to 175.
Wait, this is serious.
Why are you doing this?
You know
Why
what,
are you? You started this last time I saw you in Dublin. How much did you weigh?
Probably about 210.
210. You were rock solid.
I was a big guy. I was jacked.
You were jacked.
It was all muscle.
You were a genetic jackhammer.
Genetically jacked. But now we're around sort of 192. So we're getting down to 175. I wanted to do an 8-week fight camp, almost like an MMA guy or a boxer guy would do when they get the call and you have to cut weight. So I'm trying to cut as much as I can down to 175 pounds in 8 weeks.
And why? Just to appreciate what they go through?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not going to fight. A lot of people have been saying, am I going to fight on one of these cards or a Misfits cards? No, we're not doing that. I just want to go through what they go through. We're speaking to doctors as well about how dangerous weight cuts can be. Sort of fluid being lost from the brain and everything. So I think it's to experience a bit of what they experience. Obviously, look, we talk about the sport, so it's almost nice to kind of feel what they feel. And I think it will help me going forward when I talk about sort of boxers or
And
MMA
what
fights.
prompted this? Did someone come up to you with the idea? Did you think of it yourself?
I just thought about it. I know a lot of light heavyweights in the UK. Craig Richards, Anthony Yarr, Joshua Boazzi. And I've always asked them, I've always looked at them like, how do you get down to 175 pounds? You guys are massive. And they're like, why don't you try it? And I was like, steady. And then, one day I thought, you know what? We've got a nice little run here where I can do it. I travel a lot just like they would. So I thought, let's give it a go, and here we are.
But you say that you have a nice little run here. You're traveling all over the place.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's the test. Again, it's almost like a top-tier fighter when they have to do these world tours and have to go to different countries and promote their fights. I almost feel like I'm promoting my weight cut by being all over the place. And look, it's been titled No Excuses. So even though, we're in Vegas last week and we're here and we're back to London for AJ Dillian White next week, no excuses, we're making 175.
But I saw yesterday on your feed, on your story, you're dealing with an injury now.
I got a hurt back.
So are we delaying the road to 175?
No, not at
You're
all.
still powering
We're
through.
still powering through.
Come on.
We're taking a couple of tablets and we're going
the
through.
DAZN Boxing Show. That's how you injured your back.
I'm not going to say
Don't
that.
say that to
You might be right.
What happened?
No, I was just doing a bit of deadlift. I didn't warm up properly, and I felt a little pop, and I was like, oh, here we go. But I thought, if I tell people this and quit, they're not going to believe me. So you know what? We're going through with it. You know how cynical people can be. You know that.
I know that.
So I'm like, you know what? We're going through with it regardless.
Would you ever fight?
No.
No one?
No.
If they offer you the ideal...
What kind of money are we talking?
I mean...
What are we talking? We're talking what? 6 figures?
250?
I mean, $500,000 we could talk.
$500,000.
$500,000. I think you'll do a good pay-per-view
You don't have
numbers.
to say their name, but do you have an opponent in mind?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you say their name?
No. Golly.
Wow, you do have one. Is he a fighter or like a media guy?
He's like a media guy as well.
Wow.
Yeah, he's trying to...
Wade, isn't it?
No, Wade's too big. Have you seen Wade?
Yeah, he's jacked.
Wade's like about 6'4".
Okay.
He's a bit...
It's Todd Grisham, isn't it?
That'd be too easy.
Yeah, that is.
And I don't think that'll do the pay-per-view buys I need to get that $500,000.
Wow. It's not me, is it?
No, it's certainly not you.
Okay.
No. I know you've got good hands.
Yeah.
You can throw a bit, can't you?
A bit.
Yeah, I mean, what, a lot? You got it like that?
Have you seen these? I saw you at the gym
I
today.
can barely... By the way, for those of you watching, there's nothing there.
There's a lot there.
There's nothing.
Wow. Okay.
There's nothing there.
We're live on the MMA Hour right now. We're at the factory in Deep Ellum in Dallas, Texas. And, of course, we are here today for Nathan Diaz, Jake Paul. Have you been...
I love the way you call him Nathan Diaz.
That's my guy.
Is that what it is? Because
Well, you
there's a
have
relationship
to be a part of the inner circle.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
You're in? 100%?
I've been in.
Yeah.
I've been in.
Are you in
for a
now?
while. Right now, yeah. We're boys. Are you referencing the thing that happened yesterday?
No, well, it was a bit weird to see him just walk away like that.
Well,
No one, I mean, I do face-offs. No one's walking away when I do it.
Yeah, you did one with, you're saying it's on me. Okay, now I understand. No, you're a veteran when it comes to that. You did one with Dillian White and AJ recently.
I did, yeah. It's going to be out
I saw
soon.
the clip. It got a little bit heated there. How'd you feel? I think they're tough. They're tough.
They're tough guys.
Easy.
No. The face-offs?
Yeah.
Oh, they're ridiculously tough.
Yeah.
Because Max Killerman set the standard. I've grown up watching Max do it, and you always feel like everyone that he did was great. And so as it's happening, I'm trying to stir the pot a little bit because that's what you want, right? And, AJ and White this time around, a bit older, a bit wiser, a bit more cordial, and I was like, no, do something, come on. So it was good, it was fun. Hopefully people at home will enjoy it when it comes out next week, but they're not easy to do,
No, that's next week. Let's talk about this weekend. Have you seen a Jake Paul fight live?
No, I haven't, not live.
First one, yeah.
First one.
he had his debut on DAZN.
Yeah.
But I don't think you were with them just yet.
I wasn't, no.
On Gibb.
Yeah.
And, of course, then he had the other ones for the other networks, Showtime, etc. But now here he is back against Nathan Diaz. I just asked my guys their level of excitement. What are you at right now for Saturday?
What are we, a 1 to 10?
Yeah, they said 11.
They said 11?
They're like marks.
Are they just like, company guys? Are they just company guys with their new DAZN mics?
They don't get to go out to the events as much as us, so they're super pumped to be here. Plus, you would agree, I think, this is as much of an MMA story as it is a boxing story.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
100%.
So
I think most of the fans here, by the way, look at the turnout.
Wow.
I think a lot of these will be MMA fans.
Yeah.
Coming for Nathan Diaz.
Here. He's huge here.
Yeah,
he's very popular in Texas.
Okay.
Because, Latino crowd, he's very popular. He's fought here before. He's very popular.
Okay.
So do you agree with that? It's as much, if not more, of an MMA story than a boxing story?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think, look, if you are a Nathan Diaz fan, can I call him Nathan as well? Can I do that? Thank you very much. Then you know you're watching a cult hero. I mean, all the scrap pack, not just Nathan, Nick, Jake Shields, Melendez. So you must love all of those. And Nathan's he's the guy that's risen to the top. And no disrespect to what they've all done, but in terms of being that superstar after the Conor fight, how can you not love Nate Diaz? I love him.
Yeah, everyone loves him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Like at this point, early in his career, some were like, I don't know about this guy, he's a troublemaker. Now I feel like he's one
I
of the
still
most...
think he might be a bit of that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
changed?
Yeah, that's changed. He's still that guy.
He's respected, right? Every fighter respects him.
Yeah.
And his brother. And so I'm wondering, I alluded to this at the top of the show, who has more pressure? I have an answer, but I'm curious what your answer is. Who has more? I think it's not even a question.
Yeah, like 100%. I mean, you go back 5 years and you mentioned Jake Paul there fighting Anderson Gibb. I remember about 5.5 years ago he fought KSI's brother Deji.
Yeah.
Deji.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a Disney star on YouTube fighting Deji. 5 years ago, Nate Diaz was probably fighting Anthony Pettis in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nate Diaz has to win. He can't get beat by a Disney star.
No,
you know what I mean?
Thing.
He can't get
I
beat
can't
by
even
that.
wrap my head around the reality of Nate Diaz losing to Jake Paul in a boxing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just saying it sounds weird. He has to go back to Stockton and face that music.
After getting beat by that guy.
Yes.
That guy.
Who will hang it over your head
he
for the
will
rest
make
of
sure
time.
you know about this forever.
Right.
And ever. I wouldn't be surprised if he's already got printed some form of T-shirt to celebrate this and throws them out to the crowd. But look, Nathan Diaz, I find it weird calling him Nathan.
You love it. You love it.
It's fantastic. He's a lot older.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wear and tear, let's be honest. I mean,
are we going to bring this out now?
Well, we have to. You have to kind of bring.
Time.
I'm not bringing excuses, but the fact is he's not a young spring chicken.
Right.
He's not 30, 31, is he? This is what, 38?
Yeah. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
But what about all the disrespect shown his way?
By who?
Eddie Hearn was very disrespectful, doing these our boy Wade, he's doing like a 2-hour breakdown video about a 13-second clip of him hitting mitts. Oh, this guy, if he shows up like that, have you guys ever seen Nate box?
Yeah.
He's always kind of loopy.
That's just the way he fights.
Volume punches, but I feel like the boxing community and perhaps even the influencer boxing community thinks he's going to get smoked by Jake Paul.
They have been watching the wrong thing.
Right.
Maybe they should watch a bit more than 13 seconds. Go and ask Conor McGregor, who might have considered at the time when he was fighting Nate to be one of the best strikers.
Right.
And Conor always goes back and looks at it and he says, I think Nate was like a zombie. Just kept on coming forward. Every time you think that's it, it's done, he just found a will and a gear. And I think he's going to cause Jake so many problems. I think Jake will start to gas if he doesn't get rid of Nate early. And I think it's going to be a nightmare for Jake down the stretch.
He will almost suffocate him.
He will suffocate him. He will put so much pressure on him. He will throw punches and bunches. Regardless of the angles of the punches, they will come. And he's not experienced anything like that. No way.
So this fight was originally scheduled to be 8 rounds. They moved it to 10. Jake was okay with that.
Crazy.
I was surprised that he was okay with that because I feel like that favors Nate because the longer this fight goes, the more comfortable he gets. He's never had a pro boxing bout. Jake has. Longer this goes, he gets more comfortable. Why would Jake agree to that?
I don't know. I think
Mistake?
Credit to Jake. I mean, Jake's almost trying to get rid of any excuse possible.
Right.
If it's 8, he'll be like, was only 8 rounds, I wanted more. So he's like, okay, let's do 10. But, I mean, one thing I think we can all agree, even those that maybe don't know too much about Nate, his cardio is incredible.
Right.
Like, this guy can go 5 rounds in his sleep.
He does triathlons as a Sunday...
Sunday stroll in the park.
Yeah.
So, I think the 10 rounds favor Nate. I just wonder if it gets there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do wonder if it gets there.
What do you mean? You think Jake?
Someone could stop someone.
Right. Well, if you told me right now, I've seen the fight.
Yeah.
I've looked at it. It's good. Like crystal ball. The fight is over, and it ended in knockout. Who wins that fight?
Jake Paul.
And then if I told you, like, yeah, I saw the fight and it went to a decision, who wins that fight?
Yeah, but you can't just have those two options.
Well, what else is?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm going to favor what you see what you're doing here. I'm going to favor Nate for points. I'm going to favor Jake for the knockout. But I do think Nate could stop Jake as well.
You do?
Yeah, I really do. I think
maybe it's like the referee. He doesn't knock him out, but he just like.
Yeah. Or I mean, you see a lot of fighters getting knocked out by jabs, and it isn't because the jab was painful. They're just exhausted.
Right.
They're just done. You could almost push them over.
Right.
And I honestly think that we're going to see Jake's gas tank test to the absolute limit here. And I think Nate could potentially get a late stoppage just because Jake's just exhausted.
Can I throw a counter your way?
Go ahead.
I feel like there's this thing about Jake's cardio. Lest we forget, dropped Tommy in the last round, dropped Anderson in the last round. He's had tremendous success in the final round of his last two fights.
Yeah.
Is that maybe an old criticism? Does that still apply?
No. I just think that when I watch Jake, I think he gets a bit sloppy when he gets tired.
Yeah.
So it isn't that he's not still there fighting, because he is. But you watch that Tommy Fury fight, because that's the last one, right? Watch him in the last couple of rounds, and he does start to kind of unwind a little bit.
Right.
Whereas, again, you watch Nate for as long as I've watched Nate, and he almost seems to get better. Like, you go back to that fight against Leon Edwards, when he lands that shot right at the end and like kind of points at Leon. His gas tank's right there to the last second, so I have no fear with his gas tank. I do have concerns with Jake. Not to say Jake isn't fit, but I don't think he's fit on the same level as a Nate Diaz.
What about 185? Nate Diaz has never fought at 1185 before.
That's a lot of extra weight, isn't it?
Yeah. Jake Paul's a big guy.
He is.
He's a really big guy.
Yeah, what is he, 6'1"? Must walk around 215, 220.
Right.
Big guy.
So is that, like, if we're doing like pros and cons for both, is that a pro for Jake?
Yeah.
And do you think that he could maybe frustrate him, outmuscle him, you know?
Potentially. I mean, he's going to try and sort of mess him around in the clinch, but I mean, that's almost going into Nate's wheelhouse as well. And look, I mean, I know Nate's campaigned at 155 and 170, but I think he can handle another 15 pounds. I really do. I think his body at this age, I mean, at this age, you don't want to be cutting too much weight anyway. We always talk about fighters and does it impede them when they cut so much weight. Nate's going to be comfortable now at 185, knowing I don't have to go crazy and try and almost get... Nate's got a weird frame. He's quite big, but he is quite wiry as well. So I think him going into a 185 frame will actually help him as opposed to trying to shrink at 38 into a 170 frame. Maybe.
And I mentioned earlier that this is very much an MMA story, an MMA event, even though it's boxing. How about Jeremy Stephens?
You know what?
Who the F is that guy? That's Jeremy Stephens.
That is the greatest Conor McGregor line of all time.
Look at this guy. By the way, how about the fact that for the open workouts, there's actual walkouts?
I love it.
I've never seen anything like this.
I love it. I want the fans to be entertained. I think fights are not all just about the night.
Right.
It's about the open workouts. It's about the press conference. It's about the weigh-in. And obviously it's about the main event on Saturday. Fans want to get excited. And I think more of this needs to be done in a venue like this.
This is one of the best produced workouts that I've been to in quite some time.
I've been to a few.
There's a PA announcer, there's a ramp, there's music.
There's Adi Oladipo and Ariel Helwani.
I could get used to this.
This is great stuff, isn't it? It's great
look at us.
I like it.
Look at us. Jeremy
What's this?
Stephens.
Is this your new sponsor? What is this?
No, I mean, it's sponsoring the event.
Oh, wow.
Celsius, you want some?
I didn't get any.
Oh, well, you got to be a certain. And by the way, I don't know about the road to 175.
That's clearly not going to do it. Too many calories in there for me.
Jeremy Stephens going up against Chris Avila, who, of course, is a longtime member of Team Diaz. Jeremy Stephens had his pro boxing debut against Jose Aldo. Remember that back in April on WrestleMania weekend. And, in fact, on that Game Bread card, their fight was the best one. Now, he lost a pretty close decision, but I think a lot of people were very surprised that Jeremy Stephens was able to hang in there with the likes of Jose Aldo, who's gone on a bit of a run since leaving the UFC as a pro boxer. Now, of course, he was with PFL last year, no longer with them, and Jeremy Stephens all of a sudden finding a little niche for himself in the sweet science. Who would have thought? Great to see him here, and he's going to join us in a bit as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that fighters can be quote-unquote done from UFC and still find paths to make some good money.
That's been one of the nice stories of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That being said, a big part of the Jake Paul story over the last 2.5 or so years, ever since really the Askren fight, has been him versus MMA.
Yeah, what is that about, by the way?
I mean, By the way, they outlined it very well in the Netflix documentary that came out. But I think he was very smart. He was like, hey, I could pick a fight with one guy, or can I pick a fight with an entire sport? And it worked, right?
Yeah.
It worked from a media perspective. It worked from a fan perspective. He got the attention of Dana White. He got the attention of every single big name. Everyone was talking about him. I think it was smart. But I think it ends on Saturday.
Why?
I think that storyline needs to come to a close.
No, I think there's still a couple more guys out there.
Is there?
Yeah, I think potentially there could be one against Jorge. I think Jorge.
Really?
I do. They've always
They're now
had their
buddies.
little.
He's like on his podcast. They're buds.
You know how they can sell it if they're not
Yeah.
buddies. Yeah, they can create a little something. And I think Conor McGregor's the one he really wants. I don't think Conor will ever fight him.
He's so big for Conor. This fight's at 185.
Too big, isn't he?
Conor's.
Well, we
I
saw.
know.
One second. We both saw Conor in Ireland
I know.
recently.
He's a
He
freaking
must be
tank.
about 200.
I know, but
But his
at his
fighting
best,
weight,
yes.
at his best, he's a 155 guy. His best. as
I
well.
just feel like at this point, if he wins, I've never been one of those guys who's like, you need to fight a pro boxer right now. I would argue that fighting Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren and Anderson Silva and Nate Diaz is tougher than any 5-0, 6-0 boxer out there.
Well, not Ben Askren. Not Ben.
He wasn't in the best shape, but given the
That's
resume,
an understatement.
By the way, have you seen him lately?
I see.
He looks fantastic.
Is he trying to fight Jorge? What's going on there?
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Okay.
But the point is, I feel like it needs to come to a close. The question is, in my opinion, if he loses, is he done? Is there no interest anymore? Because let's be honest, after a loss to Tommy Fury, maybe the interest comes down a bit.
Yeah, it does naturally.
There is interest in the redemption arc.
Yeah.
Judge me by my losses, he said. But if he loses two, especially being
What is
such
that?
a big favorite,
Is in he's done forever, or he's out of this?
is this whole thing done?
I don't know. I think there still could be a KSI fight to
That's
be
the
made.
one.
That's the one. There's real hatred. I'm not quite sure. Who knows what goes on behind the scenes? But I feel like there's something there, especially if KSI beats Tommy. I feel like there's
Is there a
something
better
there.
chance of that fight happening if KSI beats Tommy, or if,
If it
Tommy
happens,
beats KSI?
No, I think if KSI beats Tommy, because if Jake were to lose, then Jake almost comes groveling and crawling to KSI. And I think the fight. I mean, if Jake wins this one and KSI wins that one, can you imagine how difficult it is going to be to go to the negotiating table with those two egos? They're going to want like 100 million each. It's going to be crazy.
Could you imagine if Jake beats Nate and KSI beats Tommy? Like, that could sell out Wembley, right?
Oh, easily. Like 90,000 tickets will go just like that.
Biggest fight in the UK? Is that bigger?
Yeah. Is
Don't
it
get
bigger
mad at
than
me.
what, Fury AJ?
Yeah.
No.
No? But
The fact I'm even making that face,
Yeah.
I said no. Like my hardcore boxing side just said no immediately. Then I thought, wait a minute. It's very close. I think both of them easily do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Maybe.
Is it bigger than Fury Usyk?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm going to get so much hate. You're trying to cancel me.
No, but-
I'm going to get so much hate from the hardcore boxing fan. But it is bigger. It's bigger. It is.
Wow.
Jake Paul KSI, like I've done sort of the last couple of KSI events, and you go outside the hotel and it's almost like a superstars there, which you don't normally see. There's fans just waiting outside the hotel, queuing up. And I've done so many big boxing events, and I don't see that with boxers. So he's star presence is incredible, and Jake's the same. So those two together, and you get Logan trying to sell it as well. It'll be enormous.
Okay, what's the bigger fight? Jake KSI, Jake Logan Paul.
Jake, Logan Paul?
Yes.
Brothers fighting each other?
I believe this is a thing.
Really?
Yo, there's a lot of subliminal little hints. Like, okay, number one, if you watch the Netflix doc once again, there's a lot of shots there.
Yeah.
Subtle. The face-to-face that we did, I'll give you a little teaser.
Go on.
So I asked Jake, you wanted the Diaz fight, right? Yes. How did you feel about the fact that Nate versus Logan was that close to being done?
Yeah.
WWE got involved. Nate was like, I don't feel comfortable with this. But how did you feel about the fact that while you're trying to get the fight, your brother's trying to get the same fight?
And what did he say?
I was like,
So intrigued.
could you imagine Nate trying to get a fight and Nick coming in there? Those two guys would never fight the same opponent. UFC tried to do GSP Nate, and Nate said, no, I'm not fighting my brother's opponent.
Yeah.
They would never not even fight on the same card, let alone the same opponent, right?
Okay.
And so here they are trying to go for the same guy, and I'm like, wow, that is kind of awkward. So I asked him. You know what his response was?
You've got me on tender hooks here. Go on.
Typical Logan behavior.
Oh.
What?
Oh, interesting.
Typical Logan behavior?
By the way, you asked the question, what will be bigger, KSI versus Jake or Jake versus Logan? Jake versus Logan. Every day.
Really?
I don't want to throw out numbers, but we're talking a big number.
Listen, I'm not trying to. People are going to be like, Ariel's trying to start a fight.
No, there is a bit of that. You are doing that.
No,
you are. No, Ariel, you are.
Listen,
You are.
then my good friend Mark Ramundi wrote a profile today on ESPN.com, and there's some Logan quotes in there. And I'm like, what is going on here?
You think they're doing it?
That's the thing. I don't know.
They're doing it?
What do you think?
I think they're crazy enough to the point where they would fight each other.
I think so too.
I think they would get in the ring and have it for real. It wouldn't be no little softy, body jab thing. I think they would fight each other.
Let me be clear, by the way.
I'm
not advocating for siblings fighting, but I have now seen this week 4 to 5 different instances where I'm like, are these guys cool? Now, also worth noting, from what I'm told, Logan Paul asked WWE, SummerSlam is happening on Saturday in Detroit. Logan Paul requested that his match against Ricochet happen first, and he has a plane waiting, and he's going to get on the plane and come to Dallas.
For this?
Yes. Now, is he coming to call out his brother? No, I'm just joking.
He's such a troublemaker.
I'm just joking. Is he coming to crash the ring? No. He's coming to support his brother. But I feel like there's something there.
There might be. If Logan is ringside and he tries to even interfere, I pray to God that Nick comes.
Oh, my God.
We don't see much of him.
He's going to be here. He's going to be here.
He's going to be here?
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah. You know, there's that tag team boxing stuff from Misfits.
I'm
just saying. Nate and Nick versus Logan and Jake.
No, we ain't down with that. By the way, I saw recently that they came out with the first ever influencer pound for pound. I saw that. Did you see that? The rankings?
No.
You didn't see that? You're like, you're like the face.
Mam's done it. You're right. Mam's done it.
You're the face of influencer boxing.
No, I'm not. I'm the face of boxing.
No, okay, fair enough. By the way, I came up with that idea first. I said, why isn't anyone doing this? I may have said it to you. And then someone ran with it. Anyway, you're welcome. Tommy Fury, #1?
Yes.
Is he an influencer?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he is.
No, he is. He's more of an influencer than a legit boxer.
Wow.
He is. He's not fighting.
Ariel Helwani says he's a... Why?
I mean, he's fighting KSI next, which is a massive fight, but it's not like he's fighting the top 10 cruiserweights in the UK, is he?
Right.
Yeah, so he's more of an influencer.
So you agree with him being #1?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, he's the
Who's
best.
#2?
Jake.
And then?
And then KSI.
Wow, Jake better than KSI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he has to be.
Why?
He beat Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva, not so long before that, beat Julio Cesar Chavez, who I know he's on and off boxing, but is a legit boxer. So you've got to give Jake his respect.
Yeah.
People always talk about the fact that, people get upset about influencers trying to box. Jake has dedicated the last 5 years of himself to box. Doesn't have to. I mean, this guy is rich beyond belief, rich beyond a number we can think of. And he still wants to fight. Like, you speak to a lot of MMA guys, I speak to a lot of boxers. The reason they do that is for this. It's a dangerous sport. So when someone's doing it when they don't financially need to, props to them.
Yeah.
Props to them.
Because we talk about the silk pajama thing. He entered the sport wearing silk pajamas.
The silkiest of silk.
You know what I mean?
Gucci or Louis Vuitton, not your normal silk.
I do want to get your opinion because you are a true boxing pundit and fan. Much respect. I love your work. You don't need me to say this again. Amanda Serrano is one of the best fighters in the world, regardless of gender, but obviously in the women's pound for pound, she's up there.
Top 4.
Who's #1?
Oh, Clarissa Shields.
It has to be. After Katie lost, right?
Has to be.
So she's in there, top 4.
Yep.
She's fighting Heather Hardy in a rematch of a fight that happened back in 2019. Which she won.
Yeah.
She's now the undisputed champion at featherweight, and I think most people suspect that she's going to beat her, right? That Serrano. Do you think Hardy has any shot against her?
No.
And so could I tell you, so I'm assuming she's going to win. Can I tell you what's my dream fight for Amanda Serrano?
Can we both set on 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, Alicia Baumgartner.
Oh, you beat me to it. You beat me to it.
3, not 1.
I thought. What a fight, right?
What a fight.
Do you think that could happen next?
Yeah, and I want it to as well. I mean, Amanda Serrano fights at 126. She's undisputed at 126. Alicia's undisputed at 130.
Right.
That's fair. The idea of Amanda trying to fight the winner of Chantel versus Katie, it's a big jump.
Yeah.
Nearly a 10-pound jump. I think the jump to 130 is a lot better for her. And they are both punchers. it's a dream.
Tremendous. Both fighters, they like to get in there in the pocket.
Aggressive.
Power punch. Kids are so much fun to watch.
Man,
they are
honestly.
both so much fun to watch.
Yeah, they'll need to get paid a lot for it because honestly, it's a kind of fight where you almost
Do
feel
that
like
fight in
someone's
Puerto Rico? Oh my God. WWE went to Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's true as well. WWE went to Puerto Rico in May, and the crowd went insane for Amanda Serrano. She's a big star there. Yeah, when they showed her. So I feel you go to Puerto Rico, that's a big fight. So you say that would be at 130?
Yeah.
You think it'll be at 130?
At 130, yeah. That's where Alicia's undisputed.
Right. So
and I think Amanda's going to want to try and become undisputed in another
different weight classes.
Everyone's doing it, right? Everyone's trying to become.
But I thought boxing was dead.
That's what they
I thought
say.
none of the big fights were being made.
That's what they say. I feel like MMA helped push boxing. Yeah, I think there was a time when MMA was just killing it. And it still is to an extent, but it isn't what it was, I don't think, in terms of fights and events 3-4 years ago when you had Conor and John Jones and Ronda. And I think boxing had to get its act together. Fights weren't happening. And finally, especially in the last 12 to 18 months, we've seen some incredible fights.
Right.
And that could be because of the rise of influence for boxing, but I think it's more because of MMA doing things and boxing needing to kind of get into gear.
Who do you like in that fight?
Which one?
Serrano, Baumgartner.
I'm on the fence 50-50.
Really?
And it's not because I'm afraid of hurting feelings. It's just Baumgartner's, she's come from nowhere in the last 3 years. But no one knew Alicia Baumgartner unless you're really hardcore 3 years ago. She came over to the UK, stopped Terry Harper, and it's literally gone dun dun dun. But Amanda Serrano is one of the true greats of not just female boxing, So I can never sleep on her. But if I have to, Alicia just because she's the naturally bigger woman, and I think she's a bit fresher, but 50-50 scrap.
Okay.
What an amazing fight that was.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I also can't wait to see H2O Sil fight on Saturday. He's a big time prospect that MVP signed about a year ago, and I can't wait to work with this man. You're going to be hosting the broadcast, right?
I am.
What does that entail?
A lot of hard work, a lot of directors and producers in my ear. Add a camera 2, add a camera 3.
You love it, though.
Trying to keep you in check because I know you're there with me as well. Sean Porter's with us. But no, I love it. Look, I mean, this is a dream for me, right? Doing big events. Big events, going to be a big crowd, it's going to be noisy. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it.
Oh my God. And last week I saw you at Terrence Crawford against Errol Spence.
Wow, dude.
Prior to that, we had Noya Inoue fight. Like, boxing is on fire right
Boxing's
now.
on fire. I mean, for you to have Inoue Fulton and Spence Crawford in the same week.
Yes.
I mean, what are we doing?
Incredible.
What are we doing? And we've got AJ White next week as well. I'm presenting.
We have a stretch. It's unfortunate Beterbiev got hurt because we had a stretch of almost every single weekend leading up to Canelo coming back where there was a big fight.
I need a break. I'm almost
You need a break?
I need a break. I need to press the pause button.
Oh, okay.
It's been back to back.
It's so
the
good.
Football season starts again. I see Nottingham Forest there as well.
We're Nottingham Forest. By the way, Brennan Johnson, is he going to stay? I'm very worried. Every day I check.
Don't know, you know. I think he's a fantastic young player and everyone's interested. I mean, there are a couple of bids that might come
Brentford,
in.
why would he go to Brentford? That's like me going from the penthouse to the outhouse.
You know
Who wants
what?
to play for the sad sack franchise? What? Brentford? What is Brentford? I've never even heard of Brentford.
No, you're right. Forest are a bigger club.
Yes.
Forest are a bigger club.
Why would you go?
Brentford right now are a better club in the Premier League. They're a better club, but Forest are a
But it's minimal.
Are we talking tradition or are we talking
I'm talking tradition,
right now?
prestige,
Oh, then stay at Forest.
celebrity fans.
Ooh. By the way, what was that shirt you posted? Burnley shirt. You know, you can't do that.
Yes.
You can't do things like that.
By the way,
you
stop
can't
it with
do,
this.
no, wait. You can't, wait, if you're a Forest fan,
Yes,
you can't then
hardcore.
post a Burnley fan.
No.
I'm a Liverpool fan. Someone gives me an Arsenal shirt, I'm not posting it.
No,
I'll say thank
this
you very
was a
much,
gift
and that's it.
From the great JJ Watt. You know who JJ
Then
Watt
you
is?
say, you know what you do? You say, JJ, thank you so much for the gift, and you tag him.
No,
You don't show. No, you don't show the Burnley top.
No, I said thank you. See, now I'm being. This is
You
all
don't do
slander.
that.
This is slanderous. JJ Watt, one of the greatest NFL players in the history.
Where's his
of
Burnley connection with JJ?
Okay, he now owns a piece
he
of the
now
team.
owns it.
So when
Ah.
I was in London, I bought a Foden kit and an Odegaard kit for my boys. They're big soccer fans.
Wait, are your boys not Forest fans?
No, my older son is a City fan, and the middle one is just kind of floating. What? He's been a diehard City fan since 2022. All right, diehard, lives and dies with them. Okay, he loves City. Phil Foden is his guy, not Holland.
Phil Foden's a great player,
his guy.
great player, yeah.
So I bought it. I was proud. I posted it.
I saw that.
JJ Watt's in my comments. By the way, Alfonso Davies, shout out, liked it too, which I thought was great.
Look at you.
I mean, JJ Watt's like, I need to get your boys Burnley kits. I was like, what? JJ Watt? So he sent them.
And that's what I'm saying. You take them. It's good.
But I'm Forrest till I die. Till I die. Let me tell you something. I'm going to be there at the City Ground sometime this season.
Oh, they're going to open that red carpet for you. Yeah. You might be their most
maybe
famous
October
fan.
7th.
Carl Froch is the big, and Lee Wood obviously as well.
October 7th.
Yeah.
Lee Wood, Josh Warrington.
Are you coming to that?
There's been talk.
Yeah?
There's been
Are we getting the team back together
Problem
again?
is, Forrest is at Crystal Palace that day.
Damn, you've done your research.
Of course I've done it all. I've done it all, my man.
That's
People try to
incredible
discredit
knowledge.
me. I watched more Forrest last year than Knicks and Bills. My two,
Well, it's easy not to watch the Knicks. All the Knicks
Wow.
done well to
We
get to
made
the playoffs.
the second
You made
round.
it to the
Yeah.
playoffs, done well. But it's been a disaster for the Knicks for years.
No, but I'm talking about last season.
Okay, you watch more football than...
More football.
Wow.
I can tell you about anything going on. There's some talks that we may sign Matt Turner.
Good player.
Yeah.
Good player. You've obviously signed Elanga as well.
They're doing all kinds of
Dean
problems.
Henderson wants to maybe have a go at United. I don't know
No,
what's
why would you want to play for such a loser team?
Because United is the biggest club in the world. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's
World
the biggest
famous
club
City
in the
Ground? I mean, we could do a whole show right here.
We could-
Can we do the DAZN football show?
Dude, I think you need to... You know,
Think
can
so?
we? I think you've got enough knowledge to hang with me on it.
Okay. Do we have... They're trying to tell... Is Jeremy Stevens... 5 minutes
5
for Jeremy
minutes.
Stevens.
I can
Okay.
fill for 10.
Oh, we
I can fill. I won't charge extra. I can fill for 10.
Okay, so, by the way, who's going to win the Premier League?
Man City.
Man City again.
Yeah, Liverpool will come
Forrest going to
second.
stay up?
Yeah.
He is.
Steve Cooper's a good manager. They will.
Really? Wow. That's great.
By the way, very quickly, when Shadisha Green was behind us, I saw her in the gym this morning. Scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
You saw her at the
I saw her
hotel.
in the gym, and I was actually scared to say hello and introduce myself. But then when I did, she was so soft. I was like, oh. Yeah, but an incredible fighter.
Did you say hi?
I did say hi.
You did?
Yeah, she said, oh, hi, Ade. I was like, you know who I am? She said, of course.
Wow.
Yeah,
Look
you're
at
the
you.
face of the
I saw
zone.
her going back and forth with Clarissa.
That's the fight.
That's the fight.
That's the
Is
fight.
she ready for Clarissa?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
How many fights does she have?
She's had 12, 11 knockouts. You don't get that in female
I
boxing.
know. Well, Clarissa, two-time Olympic gold medalist, been around.
Yeah, I mean, Shadisha's 33.
Right.
You might as well.
Do it.
Even if you go there and you get bashed up by Clarissa, you got to take the fight. But she wants to fight Savannah Marshall to be undisputed
Yes.
168. Yeah.
So is that the move?
That's the move. Win this in impressive fashion. Get Jake Paul to start selling you. Go to the UK, fight Savannah Marshall.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel about H2O? You like him? H2O Silv.
Very, very good, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's credit to what Jake's doing with this MVP Promotions. That's a big signing. Because he's a signing that everyone would have looked at. Golden Boy, top rank. And he's signed to Jake Paul. So, I mean, kudos to Jake for getting him.
This young man, by the way, is named Javon Walton. He stars on a TV show called Euphoria. They call him Juana Walton. He was just signed by MVP. He's their latest prospect. Ade, he is 17 years old. He's been boxing since he was 3.
You know what I was doing at 17?
I have no idea.
Working at Burger King.
Let's go. Have it your way?
Yeah. Double Whopper, cheese, and onion.
Shout out to BK.
Yeah.
This man on the mitts, I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram.
No.
He is lightning quick. He is
Yeah.
absolutely lightning quick. And I can't. Zach Rosenfield, come tell. If you want to tell me something, come tell me, Zach.
This is live. We can do
We're
this.
live.
We can do this.
We're not doing
We can do
signs.
this.
Producing right now.
Wait,
Guys, everyone, I want you to say hello to Zach Rosenfield.
Zach, what's up,
This
Zach?
is the man
Good to see you
behind Nathan Diaz. This is the man who got this deal done alongside Nikisa Badarian. He has been the brain since the second or first Conor fight. First Conor fight going into the second, right?
Since the first Conor fight finished.
Yes.
As soon as it was finished, yeah.
As soon as it was finished,
Yeah.
then you came on board and you've dramatically changed his life and career.
you're so lucky you got a professional who can
I
lollipop.
just was along for the ride. So Nate's going to come up after he's done open work with his workout.
Yes.
And then Chris is going to come up after. They're probably going to work out together, all right?
Okay, but we're going to get them one at a time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how's the week going for you? I mean, this, by the way, he doesn't do interviews. Look, he won't even talk.
He's out of here. Look at this. He's gone. Where's he going? Where's he going?
He won't even talk. I mean, that was an exclusive right there. The
I
man
like
never
that.
speaks.
I like that.
He never
Chris
speaks.
and Nate, I knew they'll do it together.
Yeah,
I
they're
knew
boys.
they would. Yeah.
By the way, okay, so we were talking about that young man is a big-time prospect, youngest athlete signed by Jordan Brand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
big time.
that's different level.
6
Has he got,
million
like-
Instagram followers.
How do they do that?
I don't
Like,
know.
You've got like 1 million.
I got 1 million, but this guy's got 6
Do you know
million.
how many I've got?
I'm gonna say 380.
16,000.
16?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe a little less influencer working out and a little more breaking news.
Yeah, maybe a bit more, less of that. Jeremy Stevens is about to come up. Is Jeremy Stevens about to come?
Look how long he's keeping me hanging here.
Look at the entourage he's got as well, by the way. Look at all these people.
This is unbelievable. Are you doing this on purpose?
He's doing it on purpose.
Wow.
He can come.
It's amazing.
I'm going to go.
How long I've had this up here?
Oh, no.
My God.
No, I didn't mean it. Sorry, I was looking the wrong way. I was looking the wrong way.
You're the man.
Thank
Much
you,
love.
brother.
I can't wait to work with you. I'll see you later in the week. Ariel Helwani of DAZN. My man Jeremy Stevens in the house. How are you? Please have a seat. Oh my gosh. Wow, you actually had a real workout. You're very sweaty.
Yeah, those lights are hot, bro.
Speak into the microphone.
Those lights are hot.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay, this is amazing. We were just talking. I never saw, and thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy Stevens. He needs no introduction. I'll speak a little loud because I obviously know it's loud in here. Longtime UFC veteran, fought in PFL, had a tremendous boxing match against Jose Aldo back in April. Now here he is on this card fighting against Chris Avila. I didn't see this for you, Jeremy. I didn't see this career arc. I didn't see the pivot to boxing. How did this all come about for you?
Opportunity knocked. You know, I got to thank my management. He was reaching out and he was talking to Jorge. They're like, hey, I got a matchup for Jose Aldo, Jeremy Stevens. They called me literally 8.5 weeks. I was like 184 pounds. Like, can you make 148? I said, hell yeah. There was no way in life that I'm going to pass up an opportunity. I was either going to make it or die trying. So, you know, I'm so glad that I took the opportunity because if not, on the other end, I could still be sitting out right now.
Right.
Here I am on another huge card, tremendous eyes on this card. Jake Paul bringing a lot of eyes, different eyes. Nate Diaz, real OG. So I'm excited to be here. Very grateful.
Did you want to box, or is it really just your manager Lloyd presenting you with this opportunity?
I think boxing's been fun. I've literally like rejuvenated my career, fallen in love with the process of being the best boxer. I'm learning new things. I'm sparring better boxers than I ever have. So in MMA, I kind of hit like a rut. And with this new boxing, it was just kind of like a new kick in my ass that's like really elevated my career. And I'm looking to have my best performance August 5th. Powerhouse performance.
How was that weight cut back in April?
You know what, man? Every day I ran. I didn't take a Sunday off. Not one day. I calculated my diet the whole time with my good friend. I didn't cheat. I literally stuck to the plan. I built a lot of mental toughness running every day. I was shredded, and I outworked Aldo. You know, I knew he was tired. If there would have been more rounds, you know, the experience that I got just in 8.5 weeks, I get to carry over in August 5th and make a better performance. So it was great. I had a good time. I felt good in there, and I'm excited that, you know, this fight's only at 168 pounds, which is like my raw weight. This is where I really love to perform inside the gym and be at, and I'm in great shape.
By the way, I know that was a close fight. Do you think you beat Aldo?
I felt I did beat him.
Really?
You know, I felt like I did out volume. I pressured him a lot. I had bigger gloves. You know, that was like an experience. My first time boxing, I had puffy gloves, so I feel like some of those little shots that I could be landing, breaking his guard, could have had him cut open. But it was a learning experience, and I had fun in there. It was a great, hard fight, and a tremendous amount of respect. And then he goes off and retires. So I'm really glad that I had that opportunity to share the ring with him one more time.
And so, are you done with MMA? Is this it for you?
Nah. I mean, I can go back MMA, go back to UFC. I mean, there's opportunity all around. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that's like getting old and like looking slow, looking beat up, looking tired in there. I'm actually refreshed. I still got speed. I still got my power. I mean, I'll let my performance speak on August 5th, and then you'll see. But I'm a prize fighter, bro. This is how I support my family. I've been doing this since I was 16. I got teeth marked on my knuckles, as you can see right there. I was doing bare knuckle before any of this, bro. I'm a real raw natural fighter from Des Moines, the 515, bro. It pumps the heart of the United States of America, and that's where I'm from, and that's what I do, and that's how I get down and how I provide for my family.
I love it. And what about just training right now? Are you even like, do you even do a couple of jiu-jitsu days, MMA, or are you just focused solely on boxing?
I do actually. I wrestle a little bit, hand fight, like a little bit of Greco to kind of help out my boxing a bit. In the off time, I did wrestle a little bit, but once I get a fight, I lock down completely on boxing because I don't want to go in there and get hurt, my knee or some shit or something bad to happen. But I do focus on a little bit of wrestling, humbling, and stuff like that. It's always in my blood. I love wrestling. I actually miss wrestling when I don't wrestle. I want to throw another man around. You know, it's just something I do for fun. It's something that makes me happy. But I'm not done in MMA. It's just boxing right now is a huge opportunity, and I want to take this and fall in love with this process and take it over as far as I can go.
And by the way, how did the experience go with PFL? You know, a lot of people go over to the PFL from the UFC and then have said, man, that schedule is tough. That format is tough. What was your experience like with PFL?
Being honest, I feel like I had my breakup with the UFC. I was kind of in like a rut. I was kind of like, I had like these expectations of me retiring in UFC, and things went down after that Drakkar close push, Sean Shelby, and I felt like things kind of went sideways. So instead of being like a little crying bitch about it, like, and being a victim, I like in that process of the PFL, I kind of like, I got my balls back. And like after that loss in November, I was like, that's it. I reached out to a mental coach, started doing some mental work, getting back to my grind, doing what makes me happy. The opportunity in boxing showed up. So it's been rejuvenating, and I've been falling in love with that process of being the best boxer to transfer over from MMA.
Was that really tough when you came to the realization that you weren't going to retire in the UFC? Like, did you feel there was a moment there where you were really down when you had to come to terms with that?
Yeah, for a while I was kind of like, fuck, man, like that wasn't the way I expected, you know, but that's life. You know, I kind of had to go through that little stint. I had to get my awareness about me, healed up, and now I'm regenerating patterns and again, on a huge card. I mean, this is why Dana used to pick me out, because he's like, hey, bro, we need somebody to kick off this fucking card for us. Right. You call me up. So here I am again on like one of the biggest cards. You know, that's just crazy. I mean, it's not like the biggest boxing, but there's a lot of eyes on this card.
Yes.
And I get an opportunity, so.
I mean, you've been on a lot of big cards. Look at this, like, turnout, the open workouts. This feels like a really big deal, right? This feels special.
Yeah.
Do you get that feeling as well?
Yeah, this is amazing, bro. Like, look at these, like, people work, like, on a Wednesday, they're showing up. You got a kid who's 17 years old, and they're in the ring right now. I mean, that's just amazing.
It's amazing.
You know, I'm 20 years older than that kid. So,
I know.
This is awesome.
Wait, when did you start? How old were you when you started?
I started at 16.
He wasn't even born.
Yeah. I was in a ring just like this. People were smoking cigarettes. It was a bar. They're like, kick his ass. And I was fighting. I fell in love with it and never turned back.
So you have a lot of respect for Nathan Diaz. You're fighting his good friend and teammate, Chris. Fight him.
I actually worked out with those guys in San Diego.
How much did you know about him when you got the call to fight him?
I actually worked out with those guys in San Diego one time. I came down, sparred one of their teammates. My boy Josh Neer became really good friends with the Diaz brothers. They're great guys. You know, they're ambassadors, real G's of the sport. I don't know much about Chris. I know he fought in UFC at 145 pounds. That's why I took a 168-pound fight. I wouldn't just go take a boxing match at 168. Those guys are huge, but I saw opportunity, and I wanted to be on this card. Even after that Aldo fight, I manifested this. I was like, man, if Jake Paul or Nate Diaz drops out, I want to be the one calling. I don't even know who owns the damn thing, but I'm going to call somebody and try to make that happen. So I kind of manifested this, and here we are.
How do you win on Saturday? What are you envisioning? What are you manifesting?
A vicious ass whooping, bro. You're going to see great boxing from me. I'm looking to have a powerhouse performance, one of my best to date you'll ever see. I bark my words.
Can't wait. Jeremy,
hey,
great to see you, my man.
You too,
all the best. Good luck on Saturday. Jeremy Lil Heathen Stevens going up against Chris Avila Saturday on DAZN pay-per-view. And by the way, there's a great documentary out right now featuring Jake and Nate. You can get it on the DAZN YouTube channel. Here's a quick teaser of what you could see about those two legends. And how about Nate Diaz making his pro boxing debut? Take a look at this.
This is it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view August 5th. An icon of the MMA game, ready for war against a global superstar. Set to bring the pain, to silence the haters, and leave one victorious. Like it or not, this is the most explosive fight of the year. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Ready for war. August 5th, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view. Sign up at DAZN.com.
Look at this capacity crowd on hand. This is an amazing turnout, as Jeremy Stevens said, for a Wednesday in August. It is very hot outside. It's like 110 degrees here in Dallas. This venue is fantastic. Shout out to the factory in Deep Ellum, Texas. I want to take a look at Juana Walton. Hey, what's up? How are you, everyone? Yo, yo, yo. Look at this crowd here. I want to see Juana Walton on the mitts because I heard that he is lightning quick. I saw some scenes. I think he's with Jordan Maldonado over there, who's a longtime trainer of one Amanda Serrano. I mean, look at this young man. Is that Jordan? No, it's not Jordan. I just saw a big guy with a lot of tattoos. That's my bad. 17 years old. First youngest athlete signed by the Jordan brand, and just a couple of days ago we found out that he was being signed by MVP. He's on the show Euphoria. GC, are you a Euphoria fan? Do you know Euphoria? Do you watch Euphoria? Are you familiar with that program?
Yeah, I watched season 1. Didn't tune into season 2 though.
Was he on season 1?
I don't think he was because I didn't recognize him. But I mean, youngest athlete ever signed by Jordan. Unbelievable stuff.
I mean, that is incredible. Look at him go. And we're going to be joined by him on the... Oh, look at that. Boom. I mean, you know what? He kind of looks like me up there. I mean, wow. So far, joined by Ariel Helwani and Jeremy Stevens. Still to come. That young man's going to be sitting right over here. Amanda Serrano, she has some potential news to share with all of us, so stay tuned for that. Who else? Chris Avila, Nathan Diaz. There's definitely a couple of other people that are joining us as well. Oh, Heather Hardy, longtime MMA fighter / boxer. Akin Barak from the DAZN Boxing Show are going to be joining us. And thank you so much to the good people over at DAZN for this opportunity. Again, this program brought to you by our good friends over at DAZN. August 5th, it goes down. Jake Paul versus Nathan Diaz. Live on DAZN pay-per-view. You can get it over at DAZN.com. Obviously, the last time we saw Jake Paul was back in February against Tommy Fury. He suffered his first pro loss. You always find out what a fighter is all about, what's really inside of them, what they're made of, what their fabric is made of, and the way in which they respond coming off a loss. And I think there were a lot of people who thought Jake Paul would be done after that fight against Tommy Fury. All right, it was fun. I fought the boxer. I'm done. Dusted himself off, changed the people around him, brought in the likes of Sugar Shane Mosley, and now we see how he responds. And he kept saying back on that night in Saudi Arabia, judge me by my losses, not by my wins. Well, on Saturday we get to judge him by his loss. Judged by how he responds coming off a loss. And of course, for Nathan Diaz, he's been talking about boxing for quite some time. He's sparred the likes of Andre Ward, the legend, the son of God himself. Now we'll get to see how he actually fights inside the squared circle in a pro boxing bout. Again, it goes down on Saturday, August 5th from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. And with DAZN, you can get more than 50 fights a year. It was just announced today. Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron, 2 November 25th in Dublin. I can't wait for that. My man Lee Wood supporting Nottingham Forest, going up against Josh Warrington on October 7th next weekend. Anthony Joshua against Dillian White once again. That's going to be quite the scene as well. They've got a tremendous lineup of fights coming up. You can get all of those, about 50 cards a year. Women's Champion League Soccer, you got the darts, you got pool, all for monthly prices starting at $19.99. Watch Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz Saturday, August 5th, live exclusively on DAZN pay-per-view. And please do sign up at DAZN.com. Thank you so much to them for the support. We're really excited to be here. You know, a lot of people were asking me today about today's show, who's going to be on today's show, what today's show is going to be all about. And they were asking me a lot about Jamal Hill, the former UFC light heavyweight champion, who has had some things to say about me on his YouTube channel and over the last few months. And I don't know where we got off on the wrong foot, because the last text conversation that I had with Jamal was actually a very nice and cordial one. But for whatever reason, there's been a bit of a heel turn as of late. And so I don't think that this is the platform and the moment to get into a whole battle, a whole 10-7 situation. And I think that despite the receipts and despite him getting a lot of things wrong, by the way, a guy who I reached out to his manager about just 2 weeks ago when he suffered his injury to wish him the best and also to introduce him to a YouTube guide to help him out with his channel. No problem. It's all good. I come here with love in my heart. And so what I want to say to Jamal Hill, because a lot of you are asking me to respond to Jamal Hill, this is what I want to say. You keep talking about being a man and all this stuff. I would like to extend an invitation to you, Jamal Hill, who I have nothing but respect for, and I think that your thoughts on the way I think about you are very wrong. I'd like to extend an invitation to you to come in studio on my program, and we could hash it out. Mano a mano, man to man. We could talk about the issues, and hopefully we can squash the beef. I would love that opportunity. And in case you think that I'm trying to get you to my studio as some sort of, ruse or trap, absolutely not. I know you just had surgery. I know you just got injured. If you'd like to come on via Zoom, I would love to have you on. Pick a day next week, pick a day the following week. I would love to have you on to figure this out, to settle this, because I think there's a lot of misinterpretation. And in case you think that I am trying to get views, I don't cut up the videos. I'm not making 20-minute monologues about you and all that stuff. But in case you think I'm trying to get views, clickbait, all that stuff, I'll tell you what, if you do come on the show, I will give you the full entire interview, and you can post it on your YouTube channel. You can cut it up. You can post the entire thing. You can have all the views that you want. And I'll only promote that link. I won't even promote my own. And so the invitation is extended. I would love to have you on to talk it out. Just like I called you and you sent me the voicemail when all this initially popped up. I like to deal with things behind the scenes. I like to figure things out. Of course, I'm going to talk about you. You're one of the biggest stars. I'm going to ask Yuri Prochaska questions about you. But I love to figure this out. And so the invitation has been extended. You want to come on the show in studio or via Zoom, I would love to have you. And let's figure this out and squash this and move forward in a positive way once and for all. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed all that, because all of you kept asking me to respond. That's the way in which we are going to respond on today's program. Like I said, still to come, Jake Paul, Nathan Diaz. Can't wait for that. That man, Joanna Walton, joining us as well. And it is a Wednesday, Frank. And you know, on Wednesdays, we like to shoot. You know, we like to, we like to answer questions. And so without further ado, time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time.
Fashion Q&A, MMA fans.
It is time to answer some questions.
Ladies and
Moderator Lewis, and I'm not going to be able to do
arrived
this all in one shot.
From the man himself, Ariel Helwani.
Obviously.
I think you got this. Live
you think I got
from the
this?
Fox Studios in beautiful New York
He's
City.
literally going to come up in a matter of moments.
And now, to answer your questions, get out of your seats and on your feet.
But I'm going to do my best. Here from the factory, this is the second time that we are on the road. I can't wait to get into all of this, and it's so great to be here. This is way better than Maymac back in 2017. Thank you to everyone involved for making this happen. All right, first up, Ben P. Hello, team. Who does a loss affect more, Jake or Nate? If Jake loses a second in the row, is that him done in boxing? If Nate loses, how much does it affect his negotiation power? Will the UFC take him back after an embarrassing loss, especially if he's knocked out or stopped? I think that the pressure is on Nathan Diaz. I think that if he wins, the UFC is going to want him back, and they're going to pay him a lot of money. They're going to want him back in a very big way. And maybe there's a fight against Conor McGregor, or maybe there's a fight against Dustin Poirier. I think that if he loses, to your point, Ben, his negotiation power goes way down. By the way, Michael Rappaport is calling me right now. Michael Rappaport made this fight happen. He literally made this fight happen because he was on the show, and he said he wanted to see Jake versus Nate. Michael, I'm live on the air right now, live from Texas. Here we are. Everyone's asking where you are because you made the fight happen, Michael. Here he is. There's Michael Rappaport. He made the fight happen. Zach Rosenfield, Diaz's guy. I don't know if I can hear you. It's very loud. But what do you want to say, Michael, to the world about making this fight happen?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned moments ago, just limited tickets still available. Get them as quickly as possible. If you have not yet purchased your ticket, you can do so by going to Ticketmaster.com.
I love you, Michael.
You can watch this historic night of professional boxing.
I heard that. I'll talk to you later, all right? There he is, Michael Rappaport. I heard him call himself the Jewish Don King, and he said Nate Diaz all day and all night. And I know he's a big Diaz fan. This is a true story, by the way. When Michael Rappaport was in studio on the program, Diaz's guy, Zach Rosenfield, was watching. And we were talking about Jake versus Nate, and he said, that's the fight, that's the fight. And a light went off in Zach's head. He told me this. And he said, you know what? Rappaport is right. That's the fight. And even in Mark Ramundi's article today on ESPN.com, he references that whole exchange, and Zach talks about how it, turned a light on in his head. And so Michael Rappaport, believe it or not, is largely responsible for this fight getting off the ground and eventually getting made. Who knows? If Rappaport doesn't come in studio back in late March, maybe this fight doesn't happen. Maybe we're talking about Nate Diaz versus Logan Paul. I don't know. It's a crazy turn of events, but this man deserves all the credit. So back to the pressure thing, I think Nate Diaz can't lose this fight. I think if Jake Paul loses the fight, it's KSI next. or it's another influencer. He just takes a step back, or maybe he's just done and he's got all the money in the world and he doesn't need this. He made $40 million just a couple of years ago. Who knows what he made last year? Nate has bigger plans. Nate has desires to go back to the UFC, to get a big fight here, to maybe fight Canelo. Who knows? All the pressure, in my opinion. I'm not even saying like 50-50. I'm saying all the pressure is on Nate Diaz's shoulders. Let's go to Patrick. Patrick, if you were managing Jake Paul, what are your next moves after the Diaz fight? Outside of a rematch with Tommy Fury, do you begin taking fights with real up-and-comer boxers? How would you play it? If he wins or loses, to me there's only one massive fight to make next. It's KSI. That's the fight. And it doesn't even matter if KSI loses to Tommy Fury on October 14th. That's the fight. By the way, GC or Frank in the back, you guys can still hear me over
Absolutely.
Okay. Because golly, 4 hours of me trying to talk over this guy and the music.
You sound
Gonna
great.
need some water.
You sound great.
I sound great?
Oh, yeah, man.
I mean, I don't think I have eardrums left.
You getting a horse?
By the way, great setup, but I've never gone to an open workout with a PA announcer and with a freaking... Who's playing this trick on me here? I mean, usually they're very quiet. But
Frank's doing house audio as well. You didn't know that?
What's that?
Frank's doing the house audio as well. You didn't know that? That's him holding it up.
Oh, Frank, do you mind turning him down just a smidge?
Let me just turn him down a little.
That would be nice. I mean, golly, dying out here. Anyway, the pressure is tremendous on Nathan Diaz, and that was my first question. And now let me get to the second question. If you were managing Jake Paul, okay, the next fight is KSI, regardless of what happens on October 14th. Oh, it's nice right now. Whew, now it's not nice anymore. The fight to make is KSI. They're fighting on October 14th, KSI versus Tommy Fury. I don't care what happens in that fight. That's the fight to make. Ariel and crew, howdy from Dallas. Long time, first time. I'm excited to have you in our great state. Let's ensure that you make the most of your visit to Texas. Here's what to eat. Lunch, lengua, beef tongue tacos, and elotes from Taqueria La Ventana. Interesting. Dinner, Pecan Lodge. I think I've heard of that. Order the brisket and don't ask for barbecue sauce, lest they know you're from NYC. For GC's Cowboy Makeover, head over to Wild Bill's. If you've got some cash to burn, I recommend a pair of handmade luces. I think you went there, right?
Went to Wild Bill's last night. Might have to go back again tomorrow.
Boots, $500, and a black felt hat. I think you got that as well. The Perot Museum or the Dallas Arboretum, whatever that is, are worth a trip. And last thing, he's going to ask me a question about Derek Lewis. I'm going to pause that question because I want to get to Javon Walton. Juana Walton, the 17-year-old, the star of Euphoria, who just signed with Most Valuable Promotions. He just did a tremendous workout out there. The youngest athlete signed by the Jordan brand. He's got some big plans, and it's great to have him here. I'm very excited to talk to him for the very first time. Hey, bud, how are you? No problem. Please have a seat. Here's your microphone.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to meet you. How are you?
It's great to meet you as well,
I'm
man.
Ariel.
I'm doing good. You say again?
My name is Ariel.
Ariel, that's a really cool name, man.
Thank you. It's like the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I'm Javon, so.
Nice to meet you. A lot to talk to you about. I'm very excited to have you on here. Before we get into everything, I just want to send you my condolences over the loss that you and the whole Euphoria team suffered. I'm very sorry to hear about all that, and I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. You know, like, it was all really, really hard for us. We all had like such a deep connection with him, you know, and he was just like the nicest guy ever. So, you know, to see him go, that hurt. But I hope he's, you know, I hope he's in a better life right now, and I hope he's okay, you know.
Thank you very much for saying that. Wow, what a couple of weeks for you, my friend. You just signed with Most Valuable Promotions. You're the youngest athlete signed by the Jordan brand, I'm told. You're a massive actor in terms of that world. You're a big star. You're a rising star in the world of boxing. Could I ask, how the hell did all this happen to you? How did you become a star in both worlds where everyone's talking about you? Was this the goal, or did it kind of just evolve over time?
Yeah. The goal originally was just boxing, right? I've been boxing for 13 years of my life, and like that's what I love. That's what I do, you know? And, you know, this acting stuff came from boxing, actually. I was on the Steve Harvey show for boxing, and a casting director called after the show and was wondering if I was interested in like trying acting, right? And, you know, I did that project, but, like, my priority now is boxing. Like, that's where my heart is. I have 85 amateur bouts, and, like, that's what I think I do best. So
are you done acting?
For now. for now. I'm definitely taking a step back and just focusing on boxing. You know, I got to do what I love at the end of the day.
Okay, can you not do both?
It's hard to do both. It's hard to do both. Eventually I will, but, you know, I'm about to go pro in a year, and I really want to make a big impact on the boxing world in the beginning.
Okay, so obviously you have a big following, and I'm sure every promotion under the sun wanted to sign you. Why did you go with Jake Paul, Nikisa Badarian, and MVP?
Honestly, like, I love the family vibes over there. You know, I like that they keep their circle tight. And, I mean, the whole MVP family is very talented. You know, what Jake has done for women's boxing, what he's done for boxing in general is just unheard of, right? And, you know, Ashton's a phenomenal fighter. Amanda Serrano's amazing. I mean, everyone over there is amazing, you know? So I wanted to go where I knew they were going to care about me off the jump, you know?
So far, so good?
Everything's great so far.
Yeah, I mean, look at the stage that you're getting here, right? Open workout.
Yeah,
You're not even fighting on Saturday. It's incredible.
I wish I was, man.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Did you try to get on this card?
You know, I would, but I gotta be 18. You know,
you can't even do an amateur bout.
No, not an amateur bout. I don't think you can on TV, but you know that would have been cool.
That would be tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay, so your goal. When did you turn 18, by the way?
I turn 18 in July, so
in July of next year.
Yeah, July of next year.
Okay, so you got 11 months.
About 11 months, yeah.
Are you going to take more amateur fights between now and July?
Oh, yeah.
How many more can you fit in 11 months?
I'm gonna get to 100. My goal is 100. You know, and competing at the big national tournaments again, and really getting my ranking up, and then I'll be ready to go pro.
Okay, now what about the Olympics?
You know, I was thinking that route, but it's just like my style and what I want to accomplish in the pro game. I want to start that early on. So
okay, so Olympics are next year. That's why I was asking if you were going to consider that as well.
I want to make the cutoff for that just of age. Anyways,
okay,
you know?
All right. So no Olympics, and the hope is by next summer you're a pro.
Yes, sir.
And what weight would you be at?
I'm not positive. Like, I'll do a lot of growing until then. My dad's a big guy. You know, I'm only like 5'8" right now, so I'll be growing a lot.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold off on saying my weight for now.
Ultimately, what do you think you end your career at? What weight? Like, how much bigger do you expect to get?
I mean, I'd like to end, you know, a bit of heavier weights, like 60, 65.
Oh, wow.
Around there. That would be cool.
Okay, so you got some time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. By the way, speaking of young H2O Silv, I'm told no Ashton anymore. He just wants to go by H2O.
Really? He's going to go by H2O?
That's it.
Okay.
He's a young gun that MVP signed. He was the youngest fighter signed by MVP until you came along.
Yeah.
Have you seen him compete? He's very impressive.
Man. No, he's got mad talent. You know, I know him from the amateur game as well. He's got, you know, I mean, he's gonna be amazing, man. He's gonna be amazing.
He's fighting on this card on Saturday as well. And so, okay, so we go pro next year, and you know, I think someone asked you that question up there, but I wasn't sure. For someone who hasn't seen you fight, who would you best compare your style to? Who have you tried to pattern yourself after?
You know, I like, my favorite fighter is Manny Pacquiao, so I like to take a lot of what he does. You know, his in and out movement is beautiful, and I really just like his explosiveness. So I'd like to say that that's definitely more my style. You know, I would describe me as a boxer puncher. So, you know, I like to get my work in and get out. So
okay. Have you ever met Manny? Have you ever met Manny Pacquiao?
I haven't, man.
Wow.
That would be awesome, though.
That would be something. I was at the Crawford-Spence fight last week, and he was there in the front row. What a scene that was. Did you watch that fight?
I did.
How great is Terrence Crawford?
Wow. You know, that was insane. Honestly, though, like, Bud is just, like, he's insanely good. Like, it's crazy, his skill set. I mean, he's a pound-for-pound fighter right now. You know, he's
number one.
He's number one, man. You know, he's
in my opinion, it's him and Naoya Inoue. Number two.
That's my pound-for-pound right there. Both of them.
Yeah. Did you see him fight last week? Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Boxing's on fire right now. There's just every week a big fight.
No, it's crazy. Like, I was just talking about that the other day. It's like, I mean, the amount of talent that there is in boxing right now is just crazy. You know, it's never been like that where there's like everyone's good. You know, like there's no free belts right now.
Right.
You know?
And there's undisputed fights being made. There's unification bouts. You mentioned that you started boxing at 3. Your dad got you into it, right?
Yeah, sort of. You know, I watched it on TV and I told him that I want to like do that at a young age. You know. And when I was 4, he finally took me to a gym. So
when you were 4?
I was 4 when he took me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What did your friends think when you're like boxing as a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old?
It's man, it's It was pretty interesting, for sure. You know, it's just like I knew what I wanted early on, and you know, it's hard to say that for a lot of people. So
right.
I knew no matter what that I was going to accomplish my goals and succeed at whatever I do. You know, and I'm on that path right now in the boxing world, and I'm going to make a big impact.
It's unbelievable because you're so young, yet you're so mature, and you've accomplished so much at such a young age.
Oh, man,
do you feel like you had to make a lot of sacrifices? You know, the typical kid stuff. Did you miss parties? Did you miss going out and stuff like that because you had to wake up, you had to cut weight, you had to be in the gym on a Sunday morning?
No, 1,000%.
Was that hard?
1,000%. It's like in boxing, you know, there's a lot of sacrifices you have to make if you want to be good. You know, like this sport isn't for the weak. I think it's mentally the hardest sport. So definitely sacrifices that had to be made. But thankfully, I don't really like partying. So
you don't?
Nah, I'm not a big party guy.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about you doing some crazy stuff and ending up on websites and all that stuff. Is your dad still training you?
Yeah,
he is.
My dad's my coach.
What is that like, having your old man? Are you able to separate, you know, the family life and the boxing life?
Yeah, you kind of have to. You know what I mean? And it's like he's coached at the highest level, so he knows this game very, very well. And it's like the connection I have with my dad. It's like you can't beat it. You know what I mean? So it's really just a different kind of connection. And I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world, man. You know?
By the way, was that your dad holding the mitts?
That was my dad, yeah.
Holy smokes, your dad is quite the buff man.
That's what I was saying, man.
Yes. Oh, I didn't realize that was your dad.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't want to cross your dad. He looks intimidating.
He can box.
Yes.
Did
he box professionally?
Not professionally. He did when he was younger a little bit, but he can move, man.
How old's your dad?
He's 40. He's 44 now.
He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Is he a tough coach? Does he get on you?
Yeah, he's a tough.
He does.
But you need that. You know, you need that shit.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sure you hear this comparison, especially the way you hit mitts and how quick you are. There's a lot of Ryan Garcia in you, right? Because you're young, you're a good-looking kid, you're quick. Do you like that comparison, or do you not like that comparison?
You know, I'm my own person. You know what I mean? It's like I do what I do, and he does what he does. So you know, he's a great fighter, and you know, big props to him. But I'm my own person, and I think you know we fight very different. You know, it's different styles. So.
Okay. By the way, your nickname is Wana.
Wana, yeah.
Why is that? What does that mean?
Yeah, so when I was younger, you know, it was always like I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to achieve my goals, and like it was always like I want to be a man, and my dad ended up giving me the nickname Wana from that. So.
Okay, so do you prefer Wana over Javon?
I like both, man.
Okay.
I like both.
All right, you're not like H. Stroll, you're just going to say I want to be Wana.
Nah, you know, I like both.
Okay, Saturday night, obviously you're riding with Jake.
Oh, obviously, yeah, of course.
How does he get it done? What are you expecting?
You know, Nate Diaz isn't a walkover. He's a tough opponent, right? And he's accomplished a lot in the MMA game. And Jake needs to stick to his game plan. You know, start strong early on, throwing in combinations, being explosive, and he'll get the job done well.
Do you think he stops him, or do you think it goes the 10 rounds?
It's a 10-round fight, so, I mean, it could maybe go to stoppage, but I got a feeling it's distance, man. You know, Nate Diaz, he can take some shots.
Yeah,
so.
he's a tough guy. Yeah. He's been through it all. He's done it all. I can't wait, and I can't wait for your career as well. So great to meet you for the first time. All the best to you. Good luck, and congrats on signing with MVP.
Man, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank
there
you so
he
much.
is, the youngster, Javon Walton, Wana Walton, making his pro debut next year. For now, though, how many more? Like 20 more fights we're going to do in the next year?
Oh, yeah, that's what
20 more amateur fights. Check him out. Follow him on Instagram. He's got a gazillion followers. You could be a gazillion and one. Thank you so much. You can just lay down right over here, the microphone, and we'll move along to our next guest. There he is, Javon Walton, kind enough to join us here on the program. Everyone's joining us, by the way, and they're all very sweaty. So it's a crazy, crazy thing. By the way, where is GC? Is GC in the house?
A training video made by his
wow, look at this crowd. I see a lot of action over there. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
GC, are there any fans there? Can you ask their thoughts on what's going on?
I'm actually not over there right now. I think we lost our camera to the.
But you can talk to people though, right?
If I get in the crowd, yeah.
Are you not in the crowd? All right, fine. There's a lot of people there. Wow, look at all these people here. A capacity crowd. Yeah, what's up? 10-7 all day. Helwani. Yeah, they're all coming after us. But we still here. Wow, look at this crowd. This is tremendous. Shout out to the factory. in Deep Ellum still to come. Nate Diaz, Jake Paul.
Welcome to Dallas, Texas.
My man over here. Let me know when you want to talk to the people.
Looks like he's heading out that way.
He is heading out. What was he doing? What was he at? The craft services?
Yeah, he was trying to get a selfie.
There's other things that I have to do.
What were you doing? There was a buffet or what?
Yeah, there was a buffet. I'm over here. In the corner now. We lost our camera.
That's fine.
I'm heading out in the crowd now. It looks like we've got some fans, man. What's y'all's name?
Cameron.
All right, I got Cameron.
Lane.
Lane. All right, how are we guys feeling? What is the excitement level right now for Jake Paul and Nate Diaz?
Oh man, I'm going with solid 8.5.
8.5. All right. What about you?
I'll say 6.
6. All right. Who do you guys got in the main event, and how do they take it?
I'm going with Nate. I have to go with Nate. You know. I love Nate, man, but I think it's a tough matchup. So I'm gonna say Jake.
There you have it, Ariel. What questions do you have for him, man?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to get a feel for the audience. Obviously,
they say 8.5, man. They seem like they're pretty excited. I feel like it's really going to go through the roof once we get Jake and Nate down here.
It's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. I can't believe it's at an 8.5. If I were them, I would be at a 14.5 right now. And we can. I'm just talking to Big Joe over here. I think in a matter of moments we're going to be joined by Ak and Barak, who I think are standing by. Yeah, they're here. The stars of the DAZN Boxing Show, who of course we are here with as well. Yeah, absolutely. You can bring them up. Check them out on the DAZN YouTube channel, also on DAZN. My good friends, Ak and Barak in the house. What's happening, my man? Thank you so much. Here's your microphone. Here they are, the critically acclaimed duo, Ak and Barak. By the way, you guys never do interviews I was told, don't even ask. They're a package deal. You can't. It's a tight fit, my man. Come in. Come in.
2 for 1.
Yeah.
You're lucky. Yeah. On sale. You get a deal.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it. You guys are doing great work with the DAZN Boxing Show. Saw you just last week for Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. By the way, I'm not calling it Spence Crawford anymore. It's now Crawford Spence.
100%.
After that performance, let me ask you, I'll start with you. Your level of excitement and interest at this moment on this Wednesday going into Saturday, Jake Paul and Nathan Diaz.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that I like what Jake has done for the sport. I'm not a fan of every single fight, but this particular fight, I don't know.
Which fight were you not a fan of?
Askren, Nate Robinson, Yib. I wasn't a fan of none of those fights.
Okay,
that
so
was early on, though.
Yeah.
I know, but once he fought Anderson Silva, I was like,
Tyron Woodley was okay.
Yeah, 100%. But when he beat Anderson Silva, I was like, this kid can fight.
We can't just ignore Tyron Woodley fights. This guy's an MMA.
Regardless,
what you say?
Yo, can I give my opinion though?
I like
can
it.
I give my opinion? I just think Anderson Silva is a real deal boxer. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
If anything, that's an overachievement to beat that guy, somebody that just been boxing for a couple
100%.
of years. So even taking the Woodley fight, that's when I started to become impressed with Jake.
Okay.
And the fact that he's participating in the sport that's so brutal, not having to. Fighting Woodley, then I started to pay attention. Jake is real.
Okay.
Hey,
I mean, we say that. We say, oh, he's rich or whatever. You don't get these kind of paydays on YouTube. No, this is bigger. He's getting $20 million,
I never said
$30 million. This is way bigger.
But he didn't have to
fight
box.
for.
He did not have to box.
No, you always got to box.
This is tremendous, by the way. I just want you guys to argue for 20 minutes because I've been trying to talk over this PA announcer for the last 2 hours, and my voice is about to die. So this is great stuff. All right.
You mentioned that coming off of the Crawford Spence fight, that's what we're titling it now, Crawford Spence. I know people are going to try to find something negative, but why not use that as motivation? Like, it was such a great boxing event. Let's not really nitpick about, Jake and Nate. Like, let's keep rolling.
Man, boxing's on fire, right?
100.
Every
Oh
single
my
week.
God.
Dare I say, it's more on fire than MMA. Every weekend there's a big fight, and there's something for everyone. You want Naoya Inoue on a Tuesday morning? You got it. You want Spence Crawford on a Saturday night? You got it. You want a little Jake Paul, different thing? You got it. You want AJ, Dillian White next week? You got it. Like, you're getting. You want Katie Taylor? We just found out today we're getting it. Like, big fights are being made. Undisputed fights are being made. Unification bouts are being made. You guys have been watching this sport for years, decades. This is one of the best years, dare I say, in the history of the sport.
Listen, if
would
we
you guys
would-
agree?
100%. This
Okay.
is the best year. I mean, no matter what, even if there's not another fight the rest of this year, this is the best year. And if Deontay Wilder and
Do
Joshua,
me a favor, by the way, don't cover the bottom of the mic because it's cutting your audio. Yeah, my man.
Thank you. If Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder was fighting each other in December like originally planned, this would be an unbelievable year. Better be if just got hurt.
Oh, let's not forget
Oh, my
Canelo in
God.
September.
Yeah.
Charlo. This might be. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is the best year in matchups as long as I've been involved in boxing.
Really?
That's not a limb.
What?
That's obvious.
I mean,
That's not a
look,
limb, bro.
well, it's amazing because when Jake first came into boxing, he was like, I'm going to save the sport. I'm going to infuse it with some life. Like, that's not a thing. You don't. There's no life that needs to be infused anymore, right?
No.
It's
full of life.
Yes, it's full of life. It's not as fragmented. Networks are working together as we say hello to Heather Hardy, the New York legend, right? I know you guys are proud New Yorkers as well. She's got a tough test on her hands on Saturday, going up against Amanda Serrano, a rematch of a fight that happened back in 2019. Now for undisputed gold at featherweight. Back then, she had one title, and Amanda beat her to get that title. Now, of course, Amanda is the undisputed champion in 7 different weight classes. Unbelievable. I was talking with our boy Ade before. To me, my dream fight for Amanda Serrano. We did this thing. We said dream fight, and we said 3, 2, 1.
Let's all
Okay,
do it together.
3, 2, 1. Alicia
Baumgartner.
There it is.
Yeah.
Even
We're
more
all on the
so.
same accord.
Even more so than the Katie Taylor rematch, right?
I mean, look, that Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano fight in the Garden, I think you were there.
Yeah, I was.
You were there. I
Yeah.
know you were spending time with Amanda in the Garden. That was special. That was a special event. So there's no way I would say I don't want to see that fight again. But in terms of matchup, because it's closer to her weight class and how hard Amanda hits and how skillful Baumgartner is, that would be my next fight.
Yeah, and be careful. They're telling me about the bottom of the microphone. Just hold it here so you guys don't have your mics cut out.
What you say, that's a dream fight. You know, I don't think that's something that they're going to do next. If you just look at the pattern of Jordan, her manager, Serrano, he likes to build fights. Because he could have took the Katie Taylor fight a long time ago for a fraction of what she made. But he wanted to build it and wait for the right time. I don't think it's the right time for the Baumgartner.
Really?
Why not? Why not? Amanda,
Because there's something in the wings that everybody wants more.
Right.
And that's a rematch.
Amanda,
you even want that more.
No,
I'm sure.
Alicia Baumgartner has proven herself to be one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world. She's undisputed. Amanda's been in the sport for so long. She's accomplished so much. What is she going to be waiting for? So
I'm gonna show you.
I mean, if the Katie Taylor's fight doesn't happen, this is the next best fight. If she wants,
well, what did I just say? I said Katie Taylor
wait,
first.
though. You said
I
wait.
said Katie Taylor first. That's the
Okay, but here's
unfinished business.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm an unabashed Katie Taylor fan. She's one of my favorite athletes in the world, regardless of sport. I'm very worried going into November 25th. I don't love that matchup for her. I didn't like it the first time.
Right.
I didn't understand why they had to even make it. I would have done Katie Taylor versus a broomstick at the 3 Arena. We were there, like, that place just wanted to see her win. They just wanted to celebrate
It
her.
is going to be at a lower weight classes that Katie,
Man.
the weight class that Katie's more comfortable with at 135. I don't like the fight either,
Cameron's
but Katie's that type of savage and warrior that she wants to prove.
I'm not saying she's going to lose. I'm just worried. As a fan, I'm worried. Right. So here's my question. If she loses the rematch, if Katie loses, is the Serrano fight gone?
That's a great question.
I guess so, because it's at 135, and Serrano's not even 135 pounder, so I do think so. I mean, you do want vindication of your loss, and nothing gets you that unless you defeat that person. So maybe there's it's about money.
So in the meantime, you don't want to
left.
see Amanda Serrano. Is it because you're worried that Alicia Baumgartner can beat Serrano, and that would also hurt the Katie Taylor
No,
fight?
I want the moment. That was the best event in my life. seeing Serrano fight that night in Madison Square Garden, fight Katie Taylor. I want that again. That's it.
Yeah,
I want that moment.
Yeah.
That's Baumgartner. Even though she's accomplished a lot more than Boots Ennis, but she's like that Boots Ennis, like that young upcoming person who's killing everybody.
Right.
But there's two stars. Like there was Bud Crawford.
Hold on.
And Spence.
She's undisputed though.
I said she.
I know, but so you can't compare her to Boots Ennis. Can't do it.
What's wrong with you?
Can't do it. Can't compare.
Let me ask you guys this: who does Amanda have a better chance beating? She has to move up to fight both. Would it be Baumgartner at 130 or Katie at 135? Who is she a better chance? Because obviously you could say Katie's a little more accomplished than Alicia, right? Alicia younger.
I would say, honestly, I think she has a better because the Katie Taylor fight was very close.
Right.
Some people even felt she won that fight.
Yeah.
Katie was just in a war, is about to be in another one. I think the better fight financially and the better fight, the easier fight to win. Not to say it'll be easier than Baumgartner will be Katie Taylor.
You agree?
100%. I mean, you never know until you get into the ring. I mean, we thought Spence Crawford was going to be a tough fight. So you never really know, but that makes sense.
Okay, let's focus on Jake Paul, Nathan Diaz now. It's obviously big. I said here on this show moments ago, I think all the pressure, not 60% of the pressure, all the pressure is on Diaz's shoulders. If Jake loses, KSI's there, go back to influencer boxing, blah, blah, blah. If Nate loses, Nate wants to go back to the UFC. Nate is thinking about a Conor fight, maybe a Dustin Poirier fight, or, hey, I could prove to you all that I could box. Let me start to try to get the Canelo fight. I know you guys will laugh at all that, but that's in his mind a dream.
Right.
If he loses to Jake Paul, none of that happens, right?
I mean, yes and no, because I do think that how you lose also plays a part. If this is an entertaining, competitive fight, I think people still want to see Nate in the UFC. Remember, this is a boxing ring.
Right.
And you're fighting a guy that's been taking boxing for the last 4 or 5 years, super serious. But if he gets washed and knocked out, yeah, we can have that conversation then. But it's all on how he loses.
What do you think?
I think that Nate, in his mind, he's not coming off of a loss from the UFC and saying, this is all I have left. He's coming off of a win.
Yeah.
And you can always say, boxing is just not my thing. I'm in the octagon. I'm a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner. This is my thing. He always can fall back on that one. And I think they'll still want to see him in the UFC. I mean, he's Nate Diaz. Yeah. Come on.
All right.
Like you call him, Nathan Diaz.
Nathan Diaz. That's my guy.
Why do you call him Nathan Diaz?
Because it's a inner circle thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, we're not allowed to do that.
But when Jake says it, it's more like dissing him. Like, your name is Nathan.
Well, that I think might be a diss. But for me, it's like an inner circle thing. And
who put you in that inner circle?
Nathan did. Oh, no.
I might have walked in and he opened the door and he was like, you could stay for a while. You could stay for a while. You know, we could hang out. We could chill out.
We can't call him Nathan, though. We're not there.
What do you guys think about what you've seen? And I can't wait to see him up there because there's been a lot of criticism of the way he hits mitts and his style. A lot of people not giving, like when I had Eddie Hearn on my show, he was like, my God, this guy is not going to look good in there against Jake Paul. Do you feel the same about what you've seen?
I mean, a lot of guys don't look good on pads, but in a fight, because they're in a boxing ring, but it's a fight, right? We know Nathan can fight. You know that. I mean, we had greats like Andre Ward said, I had tough sparring sessions with him. Granted, that was a long time ago, so it's not the same Nate Diaz, but I know Nate is going to fight in there against Jake. I'm not going to base it on the mitts, but he doesn't look better than Jake on the mitts.
Interesting.
I don't know, because maybe that's for show. Who
That's
knows?
true.
Maybe that's for show. I remember they had a workout, and Jake Paul went in to do the workout all left-handed. And nobody caught that but me. I'm like, oh, I see what he's doing. That's before he fought on Tyron Woodley.
Yep.
So he doesn't want to show you what he has. If Andre Ward says that those were tough sparring matches,
Wait, so he said
that leads me to believe he has something.
So Nate might be playing possum.
Maybe.
I don't know about
What is
that.
Andre
I'm not
Ward
buying
lying?
it.
Is Andre Ward lying?
No.
I did see a clip of him of shadow boxing, or was it hitting the
And what
mitt?
did you think?
It didn't look good. It didn't look sharp. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look sharp. He didn't look
He's never
seasoned.
been that kind of boxer, even in MMA. And I acknowledge that MMA boxing is different than boxing, right? Because you have to deal with leg kicks and knees and all kinds of craziness, takedowns. So your stance has to be different. That being said, he could suffocate you. His volume is his greatest asset. And so I wonder, he's got amazing cardio.
Condition is ridiculous.
Yes, I don't like for Jake that it's a 10-round fight as opposed to an 8-round fight. I think that favors Nate. I think it favors Jake that it's at 85. Nate has never fought above 170.
Right.
So he's going to be a bigger boy out there, and that's just more of a natural weight class. But here's the thing that Jake has never faced. He's never faced a volume puncher. He's never faced someone who's just going to throw the kitchen sink. Doesn't really care so much about accuracy and precision. Look at the amount of punches that Woodley threw. Look at the punches that Anderson threw. Some of those rounds were like less than 10 punches a round.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
that
he's
just
going to
puts
suffocate him.
That puts you more at risk to get hit with a big shot.
Sure.
But when you're a volume puncher, you're thinking less defense and more offense. So that's going to give Jake more opportunities. And I'll ask you, Ariel, you've been covering Nathan his whole career. I mean, in terms of how he looks in the gym throwing punches, compare that to 10 years ago.
Well, that is the guy that we've always seen, honestly. He's just very unconventional. He's like, if a pure boxer or coach watched him, he'd be like, what is going on here? But that's his beauty. That's his, you know, he's just a different kind of cat. I can't wait to see what he shows us here today. I feel like not much.
Right.
And that, to me, is the most fun thing about this fight. Like, how often do you go into a boxing match and you're like, what is he actually going to look like? Like, we knew what we were getting from Spencer Crawford to a degree. There were obviously questions, orthodox, southpaw, etc. But, like, what will he actually look like with 10-ounce gloves? I can't wait to see that.
Who would you say is the biggest star here, though? This is the question has been coming up all week.
Diaz.
Who's the biggest star? Jake
90% of the people here are for Nate Diaz.
Wow.
This is Diaz country. Texas is Diaz country.
Wow. And I seen a long line outside.
Absolutely.
It looked like it was a Diaz crowd. You know, but one thing about volume, if you're not in range, it means nothing. You know, so if he doesn't set it up with a jab, and if he doesn't have a crisp jab just to get in range for that volume, then he really
Well, that's the thing. His style worked well for MMA. Yeah. I wonder if it works well for boxing. Who's your pick?
I'm going to pick Jake Paul by knockout within 6 rounds.
Wow. 6 rounds, huh?
No disrespect, Nate.
Yeah, no. Listen, there's got to be a winner. What about you?
1 draw, 30.
Get active. That's it.
That's
I
it?
don't do predictions. No, I don't do.
You're not a prediction guy? What are you, above predictions?
Oh, I'm below predictions. I'm not smart enough to know.
Is that his
who's gonna
thing?
win.
Is that his thing? Did you know that was coming?
Yeah, that's his thing.
Wow.
Sorry, buddy.
It gives me the predictions.
Well, the thing is, fighters are very sensitive, and so they get mad. Is that part of the reason why? No. You just don't want to be wrong.
No, it's not that. I just don't want to do predictions. How do I know who's going to win?
That's our girl, Amanda.
Your opinion. Look at Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano saved you right now because I was going to force that prediction out of you, my man. Amanda Serrano.
No, but I am friends with a lot of fighters.
I get it. I get it. The pride of Puerto Rico. The pride of New York. Shout out. Massive fight for her. Undisputed gold at 126 on the line. Is she rocking the Jordans?
Look how comfortable she is.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like she is, but she's got a huge fight coming up on Saturday. Once again, her decision to team up with MVP and Jake Paul has proved to be massive for her career. Like where she was at before Jake came along in Nikisa Badarian and where she's at now, it's unbelievable. I saw her at a WWE event in Puerto Rico in May, and they treated her like a massive star.
She's a
If she could fight in Puerto Rico next, maybe against Alicia Baumgartner, that would be wow.
I mean, what has happened with her career is one of the reasons why I love Jake so much, because I know the hard work she's put in for so many years, getting paid very little money, being the most accomplished female fighter ever in history. I mean, think about it. Only Manny Pacquiao has won more divisions than she has. You know, so for Jake to change her life like that, he's always going to have my respect.
And I'm not even sure about that Manny Pacquiao. I don't know if there was real titles. 8 different divisions. Some of them might have been the IBO.
Right.
But maybe she's beaten even Manny Pacquiao. We'll look into that.
Where do you have her in the pound-for-pound rankings?
She's top 3.
Top 3.
No matter
Clarissa, number 1?
100%.
Who's number 2?
I hate to say it, but maybe Cameron.
Yeah. Why do you hate to say that? She deserves it.
I just love Katie.
I do too. I thought Katie was number 1 this whole time.
Right.
But then once she lost, you had to give it to Clarissa,
You know
right?
what it is, though? Is that Clarissa Shields didn't have no close fights. So to be that dominant, I couldn't give it to Katie, even though Katie beat Serrano, and some people thought that fight was could have went the other way.
That is true.
Yeah.
By the way, as far as the men pound for pound, do we agree? Crawford, Inoue, 1 and 2?
Crawford was number 1 before this
fight to us.
Okay.
He was number 1. I would say
Inoue.
It's safe to say Inoue, Canelo at number 3.
Canelo at number 3.
And I think I think if Canelo beats Charlo, I think he goes back to number 2 over Inoue.
Really?
I think that the pound-for-pound list has never been like this, where interchangeable so easily. Like a couple of fights can change at least the top 5 on that list.
I wouldn't move Canelo for that particular fight. You know why?
I would.
Because Canelo's the bigger guy, even though he's not really bigger, but he's fighting at a bigger weight class.
Nah, I don't
in a way,
care.
moved up to fight Steve.
But wait a second. Doesn't the loss to Bivol mean something? That's gotta, like, how can you have Canelo over Bivol?
Well, because of what he's done throughout his career, and the fact that Bivol is fighting a guy that's now don't get me wrong, I thought it was a phenomenal performance by Bivol. I'm not taking the win away, but that's one big win.
Right.
Opposed to Canelo's tons of big wins, so I can't drop him down. Bivol is my number 5. I got Bivol over Usyk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is probably the only time where a fighter lost to another fighter and he's higher on a pound-for-pound list, because that's not his weight class. He was daring to be great. That didn't subtract all of the greatness that Canelo did. He was number 1 before that fight. You understand what I'm saying? So even Bivol was like, beating Canelo was great, and especially financially, but it didn't mean something in the 175-pound division because he's too small.
Right. Will Crawford-Spence fight again?
If they do, it'll be at 154. I'm not sure if that fight happens again. I know for Bud Crawford, he has one thing and one thing only on his mind, is to be undisputed at 154. So even if he has to wait for after Canelo, Jermell Charlo, for him to come back down and defend his title, win, lose, or draw against Canelo, that's what's on his mind, and he wants to sell off.
Is he big enough for 154?
Who, Bud Crawford?
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's strong enough, obviously.
Yeah.
He showed that. He fought a guy that blows up to 160, 170 in Errol Spence. So I love the Jermell Charlo versus Bud Crawford. He is big and skilled and strong enough for 154.
If you are managing Errol Spence right now, are you telling him don't take that rematch next?
Wow, that's a good question. I didn't know you was going to ask me that. It really depends on how he feels mentally. Your fighter has to tell themselves, why did I lose? And if you could tell yourself, okay, I had an off night, then yeah, let's take this at 154. You know you're going to have more confidence because you're going to feel like I'm going to be stronger at 154 anyway. So it depends on his mentality. If his mentality is saying, I just had an off night, it's not that he's so much better than me, then yes.
Wait, but you got to save a fighter from himself. Just because he says I had an off night, let's really take a look at this fight.
No, but he
was it
really,
an off night or was just Bud that much better?
He would really know. We can't make that assumption.
I don't
he would
agree
really
with
know.
that. Fighters think that they're good when they're hurt in a fight, and they don't want the ref to stop it. So you're going to listen to the fighter?
That's way different. That's way different. Because when they go home, they know in themselves, damn, he was much better than me. That ref saved me.
Yeah.
They know. But in the moment, you want to die on your shield.
I think Errol is a phenomenal fighter. His pride will tell him I had an off night. But skill for skill, I think it's a tough fight for him. For one, I don't ever want to see Errol at 147 again. He's been at that weight class way too long. Barack, you brought up a great scenario. Skip 154, go up to 160. He's big enough
but he
for that
asked
weight
the
class.
question, would I tell him? And it depends on his mind.
I would tell him no, Bud Crawford, let's go up.
I love this. I want you guys to argue all the time. Also, can I make a suggestion? I want you guys in the same room.
What do you mean?
When you do your show,
no Zoom no more?
Yeah, no more Zoom.
Or talk to the
So
zone.
you don't want me waking up out of my bed, just rolling over, half butt naked, half butt naked.
Nick, Chris, the whole crew, Joe. Let's get these guys a nice
No, they're
studio.
going to have to pay a little extra for that.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get involved with all that. Let's get these guys a nice studio. I want more arguing like this. It's a different type of vibe when you're in front of each other, right?
Yeah,
it's all fake anyway.
Man, don't tell me that. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, Ariel.
These guys are legends. They do tremendous work on the DAZN Boxing Show. I catch it all the time. Great interviews. I love your interviews with Eddie Hearn in particular. On Mondays, you have him. I watch it all. Keep up the great work. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys throughout the week as well.
Likewise.
There they are. You guys could just drop it here. We have nothing to show. It's a very bare bones. No, nothing. Nothing. It's a very bare bones.
You don't see it sneaking.
Yeah, they're just sneaking away. Actually, we do have something to throw to. There is a pay-per-view out right now, a documentary on the pay-per-view, from DAZN on their YouTube channel regarding Nate versus Jake. This is the longer promo, guys. Documentary on the pay-per-view, sort of like a countdown show, if you will. Here's a teaser of that documentary.
A YouTuber turned fighter versus a UFC superstar.
Can you imagine 5 years ago, someone said Jake Paul is going to fight Nate Diaz and it might just be the biggest fight of the year? You'd think they're crazy.
Jake Paul's quite a polarizing character.
I know you're probably beating up old dudes in a bar right now.
He tries to get a rise out of people.
You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a YouTuber.
How could you not respect the Diaz brothers and their resume in the fight game?
The YouTube title is shifting away. They're starting to respect them as a boxer.
I've knocked out every single person that I've fought.
I think Nate Diaz will be the biggest challenge of Jake Paul's career.
Nate Diaz is trouble waiting to happen.
Is this man leaving? And Nate Diaz leaving this arena.
This guy's been fighting since he was born.
I've been training since I was a kid.
He's probably fighting somebody right now.
This is the most important moment of my life. Find out what I'm truly made of.
I'm here to handle my business and get done what I gotta get done.
You're talking about two huge names going to battle.
The thrill of the fight, the buzz, the drama.
It's do or die.
The blood, the sweat, the tears. The dreams being shattered. A legacy being created.
Here comes trouble.
Ready for war.
All right, so there it is. You can watch that on the DAZN YouTube channel. Amanda Serrano in the ring right now. What a scene this is at the factory in Dallas, Texas, August 5th on DAZN pay-per-view. Jake Paul versus Nathan Diaz and the co-feature fight. And look at all these people, this crowd on hand. The co-feature fight is a rematch of a fight that happened back in 2019. It's Amanda Serrano defending her undisputed gold at 126 pounds at featherweight against the legend, the pride of New York, the one and only, the sometime MMA fighter, all-the-time boxer, our old friend Heather Hardy. Hello, Heather. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you again. I like the jersey, too.
Thanks.
You got to represent New York.
Represent my hood, yeah.
I love it. I love it. What a great scene this is, right? For an open workout. All these people, like, there's an actual, like, a ramp and music. It's not usually like this, right?
I know, like fancy.
So, how did this all come about, the rematch? Did you get the call? Did you ask for it? How did it all come about?
Well, I changed teams about a year ago and started training with my papa, and he passed away on January the 3rd. And I had this moment, am I going to retire or not? And the day before he died, he left me in charge of my new coaches. He left me in the will to them and said, take care of Heather. Make sure she boxes. Make sure she sticks with this. This is her world title year.
Wow.
So I did a small fight in New York City, and I said, okay. And then I had Ring Magazine publish an article, said Heather Hardy wants the champions, and Amanda called me right away.
No way.
Yeah.
Did you think it would go down like that?
I didn't know. I knew somebody would want an opponent, right? 126, 130, 135. Somebody would be like, yeah, I'll fight the old lady. And Amanda said yes, so I was like, oh, I got to go on a big diet.
Yeah. How could I ask? Like, how much did you have to lose?
25 pounds.
Was it hard?
Yes.
Is it troublesome this week? Are you worried?
Of course. I'm not worried. I have a lot of work to do.
Okay. Is that typical for you?
Yeah, it was even more typical because I was like 150 when I took the fight. But 126 for a 40-year-old lady is kind of hard. So.
Yes, much respect.
I went to church a lot.
Okay. Obviously, you fought her back in 2019. Is she a much better fighter, in your opinion, since when you fought her 4 years ago?
I mean, Amanda has been great for so many years. She's just now been introduced to the world, her greatness, right? Amanda was great when I fought her, and now she's even better with the experience. I have to be greater. That was the thing. I went into my last fight with my coaches saying, don't let her hit you, don't let her hit you, don't get knocked out. And half my team told me every day I would lose, and it just
why?
Because she was so good, and the coach just didn't think I had it in me. And when I changed teams, we took a totally different approach to my life and to boxing. So I'm really grateful and excited.
Well, I can't wait for it. By the way, I just wanted to mention that Chris Avila is about to walk down the ramp right now. He is the longtime friend and teammate of one Nathan Diaz. He is the man going up against Jeremy Stevens in that fight that we talked to Jeremy about. just a few moments ago, and Nate Diaz is going to be in the ring with him as well. They're going to be doing it together. Is this wild? Nate Diaz, you know who Nate Diaz is, right?
I know.
Isn't it crazy?
I was like geeked out.
I know. It's so crazy that he's actually finally having a boxing match. Could I ask about your particular fight? What did you learn in that first fight that you can't make the same mistake in this fight on Saturday?
I didn't rewatch the fight until last month.
Okay.
So I couldn't bear to watch it, just thinking of how I felt that night. But rewatching it, I was so mad at myself. I looked so scared. And I'm not a scary fighter, so that is gone.
That is gone. You know who's never scared? That man.
Yeah.
Nathan Diaz, the pride of Stockton. Yes, you can't be scared out there.
No.
You're a legend. He's a legend.
Right.
You fight in MMA too.
I did.
Yes.
And I got my nose kicked off my face.
That's fine. That's fine.
I was fine.
You went in there.
Yeah.
You got it done. Nate Diaz, the UFC legend, about to step in the ring as well, flanked by the great Richard Perez. He, of course, is going up against Jake Paul on Saturday. By the way, who do you like in that fight?
I don't like to call fights, and everyone hates when I say that, but to say someone's going to win says who's going to lose, and it's just bad for the energy and manifesting. So I don't do that stuff. I wish them both safe in and safe out.
What are the chances Saturday's fight is your last?
This is my last chapter, but this doesn't have to be the last page.
Okay.
So my body feels good. We're going to see what Saturday brings.
I can't wait. A lot of people are counting you out. You know this. What do you say to those critics?
Nothing, because I have so many people who believe in me, and those are the ones that I'm with.
I love it. Well, good luck to you, Heather. I can't wait to see you back in there again. It's an honor, and I hope you're able to get it done and shock the world on Saturday night.
I'm ready.
All right, there she is, Heather Hardy. You could just lay it down. Yeah, thank you so much. You're a pro. The pride of New York, Heather Hardy, kind enough to join us. Let's take a look at what's going on in the ring, because everyone is so interested in what these two individuals are doing. Oh, my gosh, look at that. Yo, what's happening, my friends? Guys, Nate Diaz is here. Nate Diaz is here. Chris Avilo's here. I just want to watch this. I think everyone wants to know what they're going to do. To me, this is must-see TV right here. Let's just keep it on these guys.
Well, Nate has requested that we do a Q&A.
A Q&A.
There we go.
That's fine. We'll take a look.
So,
we'll listen in.
Who has a question for Nate? What is your question?
When are you going to knock him out? I'm in a hurry as soon as I can.
Who next? Who has a question for Nate?
Come on, a better question than that, guys.
All right, you got an Oakland A's hat on, so we'll pick you.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Bay Area.
Nate, how bad are you going to beat that motherfucker ass?
Oh, my dear. We apologize for the language.
The plan is to beat his ass. We'll see what happens.
Who has a question over here?
Oh, some autographs.
Can someone hand the mic over to him and bring it right back to me? Thank you.
Nate. So, Nate, who do you plan to fight after this fight?
We'll see what happens. I don't know. We're going to get done with this fight and we'll see who's next for sure.
Just look at him.
Yo, Nate.
I mean, he's ready to go.
Yo, everybody, where's the bloods at?
Where's the blood? Yes.
Can I have your shirt if you take it off?
Oh, my dear. She's asking for his shirt.
It's a yes or no answer.
It's a yes. Oh, my God. This guy's trying to get...
Okay. Let's move over to this side, if we can. Who has a question? All right, this young man right here. Can you hand the microphone over to the young man right there?
Hey, oh, When you gonna wear my mom?
Hey, wait.
Will you marry my mom?
I don't know what's happening now.
Dallas has some good questions.
Yeah, they're really asking some hard-hitting stuff. So I guess he's not going to hit the mitts. I was really looking forward to this, but you know what? That's a smart move on his part, right? Keep us guessing. Everyone's breaking down.
Hey, Nate! Hey, what round you think you're gonna knock him out in?
I didn't even understand that one. Where's GC
What round
at?
is he going to knock him out in?
GC still in the crowd?
I think he's crowd surfing last I saw.
Is he crowd surfing right now? Wow, this is a great turnout for an open workout, I must say. And I do believe we are in Diaz country.
Big Nate, can you sign my glove?
Okay, so it's just a bunch of autographs and stuff. I don't know if I have to... Yes. I could sign your hat afterwards, young man in the John Morant jersey. Sure, why not? I will sign your hat. It's great to be here with the fans. This is what it's all about.
What a match.
Yeah, I'm signing your hat. Shout out. You're the man. Oh. By the way, do the Parlay boys have a pick on this fight? Might as well do it now. Of course, today's show brought to you by our good friends over at DraftKings as well. Take your shot at huge wins with DraftKings Sportsbook, my friends. You could win big with money lines, props, parlays, and more. Right now, new customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly. For betting just $5 on anything, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TheMMAHour. That's code TheMMAHour only on DraftKings Sportsbook. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net in partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly and go over to sportsbook.draftkings.com/terms for more. All right. Do we have the Parlay boys? Do you want to make their pick now? Do you guys want to make your pick?
I guess we're gonna have to continue without you, seeing as we won last week. It'll just be us three.
Yeah. What do you got?
We are ready.
I guess I'll go first. I think I'm gonna stay right where we are, right here and now. I will go to the co-main event. I'll go Amanda Serrano, Heather Hardy. I will take the over 8.5 in that one.
Over 8.5 for Amanda Serrano and Heather Hardy. Anyone can win, right? Hardy pulls off.
Anyone can win. I just need the over 8.5. I believe Amanda Serrano's been to 4 or 5 straight decisions, and they've already fought before. It went to a decision in that one. I feel comfortable taking the over 8.5 here.
All right, over 8.5 it is. Who's next?
Frank, that's me.
Frank, why don't you go and then I'll go after?
That sounds great. So for me, it's actually really easy. I'm going to go with Tatiana Suarez money line.
All right, Tatiana Suarez against Jessica Andrade. Of course, that fight happening in Nashville on Saturday. And what about you, New York Rick?
I'm also going to go to the world of MMA. I'm going to take Ignacio Bahamondes money line.
Okay, there it is. So 2 MMA ones and 1 boxing one.
Yeah, there it is. It's quite simple. We're going to try and get back in the black here. Over 8.5 in Serrano Hardy. Tatiana Suarez moneyline. Ignacio Bahamondes moneyline.
All right.
232.
What is that? Plus 132?
Plus 232. That'll get us back in the black if we can get
wow.
Look at that.
I love it. I love it, and I hope you guys win from now until the end of time, so I never have to do it ever again. That would be tremendous. From the end of time, that's all I want. Just keep going. Keep it rolling.
And Chris, best of luck on your fight. Your thoughts
Chris
on your
and
fight.
Nate. Here's Chris.
Good fight. I'm excited to fight. Jeremy Stevens, a good opponent, and
There they are. What a setup. Once again, I have to give a shout out to everyone
Best of luck
involved.
to you.
Tremendous
Thank you,
setup.
gentlemen.
And in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by Amanda Serrano. And keep it locked right here because Amanda Serrano is about to break some news here on the program. And so I'm very much looking forward to that as well. This is going to be great stuff. Of course, Amanda Serrano, perhaps the most decorated boxer in the history of the sport, certainly when it comes to women's boxing. 7-division champion, currently the undisputed champ at 126 pounds. I'll say it again because she's here with me right now. arguably the most decorated champion in the history of boxing, regardless of gender, pound for pound great, 7-division champion, undisputed queen at 126 pounds. She defends those titles on Saturday against her old foe, Heather Hardy, who she beat 4 years ago back in 2019. Here she is, the pride of Puerto Rico and New York, Amanda Serrano.
Stop, Ariel.
I'll keep going. It's so great to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing great. Thank God.
What about this scene for an open workout? You've been in fighting a long time.
Yes.
You guys got a ramp and everything.
I know.
This is tremendous,
like
right?
Fight night. It's getting you ready for fight night.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing. You know, MVP, they do it over the top always.
They do, and they just signed a new prospect, Juana Walton, as well. Your stable is growing. Big things for you. So let me ask you this, and I'm told there's some breaking news. I want to get to that in a moment. I'm very excited about this, but I do want to ask you about this fight. Yes, I'm very excited about it. I do want to ask you about this fight. Why Heather Hardy? Why did you take this route?
Well, Heather Hardy, she gave me the opportunity I wanted to become undisputed champion, and she had one of the belts. Me being the WBO super champion, you know, and knowing Heather is a tough warrior, we asked Heather, you want to fight? And of course she said yes. And you know, giving her this fight, right now I'm in a position where I have a great platform. This is not a mandatory defense. So I wanted to be on the Jake Paul Nate Diaz card, because who doesn't? And I said, you know, Heather, now that I have a great team that's willing and able to pay, you deserve it, because we struggle the same. Going into the sport, it wasn't easy. So now she's getting her biggest payday, and I'm happy to help her and give her that.
Wow. This is the biggest payday of her career.
I believe so.
Wow.
I personally, I think so. I can't.
Yeah. But she is an OG. You're an OG. Yeah. It's nice to see how far women's boxing has come, that you guys would be a co-feature on a card like this. That is tremendous. And let me ask you, because you are a big favorite going into this fight, and everyone's talking about how you're just going to steamroll right through her. I know you have a ton of respect for her, but does that ever kind of creep into your brain where you have to push it out and be like, no, she is a fighter. She could catch me. I can't overlook what she brings to the table.
This is boxing. That's how upset happens, when you're not concentrating in your opponent. You know, I always respect my opponents no matter who they are, and I just go out there and I train my hardest. I train, you know, everything's on the line. Those are my babies. I work super hard for those, and I'm not just gonna let anybody just run over and just take them from me. So, you know, I'm training hard. Even though I did beat her, I'm still training super hard.
Right. I had a bunch of pundits up here with me, Ariel Oladipo, Akim Barak, and we all were talking about you at length. And we both said, if we had a dream for you at some point, maybe end of the year, and we both, I said 3, 2, 1, let's see if we all think the same thing, opponent. And each one of us said Alicia Baumgartner. That to me could be one of the best fights in the history of women's boxing, and one of the best fights made, period, right now. Do you have interest in that fight?
Listen, I'm the fighter. I train and I fight. Whatever my trainer, Jordan Maldonado, manager, what he decides is what I do. But I think it will be a great fight if we get paid what we deserve.
Okay. Now, regardless of who you fight next, you in Puerto Rico has to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
I saw you at the WWE event. Like, I saw that crowd there. Bad Bunny comes out. Like, could you imagine Bad Bunny walking you out?
I know.
Like we saw Eminem last week with Terrence Crawford. Could that happen in Puerto Rico? I think the place would explode.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. That's
Really?
Well, you know, obviously I have to get through Saturday night, but that's definitely my dream and wish, my homecoming, being undisputed champion, fighting for the first Puerto Rican undisputed champion, fighting in the biggest arena in Puerto Rico, the Choliseo. That's definitely a dream. Being at the WWE event, I spoke to Damian Priest afterwards.
Yeah.
And he said he can retire and live a happy life, because the atmosphere, it was truly amazing. And he said it was his first time fighting there, so he was like, it was the best experience that he had.
The crowd was incredible. The uno, dos, all that stuff. I loved it. I loved it so much. Now, I teased some breaking news regarding Amanda Serrano. Let's get to the breaking news. Frank, do we have breaking news music? We have the breaking news music. You can't hear it. We have everything. Here it is. I'm going to announce it, or do you want to announce it? I think it's better if you announce it. They told me to announce it. Yeah, tell the world. What's the breaking news? What's the big thing that Amanda Serrano wants the world to know right now?
Well, I am officially signed to the PFL company, and I'm proud to be part of great talented from that in that company, as well as Jake Paul. So I'm excited to be part of the PFL family.
Okay, that's massive. Congratulations. I have been you had a nice little run in MMA, and I know you were kind of doing it because maybe you weren't getting the paydays that you wanted in boxing. You're certainly getting that now. Why are you coming back to MMA? Why are you signing with PFL? And you're not leaving boxing. You're gonna do. You're the Bo Jackson of combat sports. You do both. But why sign with PFL? Why even consider a return to MMA?
Well, MMA is an amazing sport. I have so much respect for MMA fighters. Actually doing it, coming from boxing, I said, wow. I was like, to me, I was like, leave me in boxing. Boxing's so much easier. But I love the challenge of MMA. I love that I get to do different things, challenge myself, learn new things in MMA. And, winning fights by submission was actually cool to me because I win fights by decision or knockouts, but winning by submission, it felt a little better. I was like, this is so super cool. But signing with PFL, I remember seeing the company and how they have an amazing where the women was actually fighting for an opportunity to win $1 million, as well as the men. And you're not seeing that in boxing, where women now are getting opportunities to make money in the sport. So that really intrigued me into PFL. And obviously, my manager, Jake Paul, is signed with PFL as well.
Yes, so he heads up their super fight pay-per-view division, and I understand you're going to be a part of that as well. Do you know yet when you may debut for PFL?
No, I have no idea. I signed the contract because once they said PFL, I said, let's do it.
Okay.
And I'm excited to go back to MMA. It's a totally different sport than boxing. They have an amazing fan base as well. I know you're a big MMA fan, so it's something different, and I would love to win over some MMA fans as well.
I think you will very easily. I was told either late this year or 2024 for the debut. Up in the air.
I signed the contract.
Okay, fair enough. What weight do you think you'll compete at?
Well, I'm assuming my featherweight. Well, no, featherweight's different than MMA.
Yeah, so it would be flyweight. 125. Would you be interested in 35, or is that too big for MMA with the wrestling and everything? Yeah. Okay, so 125 you'd like. And
MMA, they're little with their weight division.
Yes.
They're a little crazy. And
10 pounds
and
between.
And the wrestlers, they know how to cut that weight back.
Right. Is it possible that after Saturday, the next time we see you in action will be in MMA and not boxing? Is that possible?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Do you think you will fight again this year in boxing?
I'm not sure. I don't think so either.
Okay. Is it possible? You talked about Heather Hardy. You have a lot of respect. She's fought in MMA as well. Maybe you guys do the last time in MMA.
Maybe she feels she'll have a shot in MMA with me. You never know.
Right. Do you have like a dream opponent in mind in MMA?
No, not at the moment.
There's no one that you say, I would love to fight them in a cage. There's no one that you would say, I would love to fight them in a MMA fight. I would love to
Not
fight
right now,
person.
because I'm getting back into it.
That's
so give me a couple of
That's fair.
couple of times.
Your last MMA fight was a few years ago. Have you kept up with, like, you do any of the ground
stuff?
stuff?
Yeah, very little.
Okay.
I still try to kick every now. After I work out with boxing, I try to throw some kicks at the bag so I can just keep the flexibility. My nephew, he's actually going to jiu-jitsu and wrestling school, so I will go with him. And I'm a hands-on learner, but I like to visually watch too. So I will watch him and I'll learn that way as well.
Okay. And did you ultimately, was this something that you thought of, or did they come to you with the idea and say, are you interested? Did you have that itch to do this? Because things are going so well for you in boxing. It's almost like you don't really need to do MMA anymore. That's why I have a lot of respect for this decision.
No, yeah, I've always said I want to be remembered, or I want to be known as a combat legend, a combat, all-around athlete. So, it was always a dream when I started MMA to become an MMA champion and a boxing world champion. So anything that I put myself into, I want to be the best at, or trying to accomplish a goal. So I definitely would love to win a title in MMA.
Wow.
But I just want to be known as a...
Yeah, you can have a run like Holly Holm had in MMA, right? She's a Hall of Fame boxer. You are going to be one, obviously, and she's now going to be a Hall of Famer in MMA because of what she did. Well, we'll save that talk for another day. For now, it's Saturday. It's Heather Hardy, August 5th on DAZN pay-per-view. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. It's an honor to talk to you and to watch you. I can't wait to do it one more time on Saturday. Okay. All right, there she is, the real deal, Amanda Serrano. You can just put that down. Thank you so much, Amanda. Good luck to her. Obviously, a massive opportunity for her anytime she gets to compete on a Jake Paul card. They are very close, and I want to let you know that both Jake Paul and Nathan Diaz are still to come, so spread the word. It's prime time Helwani here, live from Dallas, Texas. I mean, what's better than this? 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. Look at this scene at the factory in Dallas, Texas, site of the open workouts for this highly anticipated card tomorrow at about 2 Eastern, 1 Central. We have the press conference, which will be hosted and moderated by me, so I look forward to that. And then, of course, on Friday, after the ceremonial weigh-ins, we are going to do one more show. Yes, our third show of the week. How about that? Our third show of the week at about 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, after the ceremonial weigh-in. So at that point, it will all be done. The hay will be in the barn, and we'll give you one more show. That's 3 shows in the span of 5 days. Oh, Ariel. Oh, you take too much time off. Oh. Now, Frank, tell me what's going on over here.
There's quite some commotion.
There's what?
Quite some commotion over here.
There's a commotion?
Diaz is coming back into Video and Audio Village.
Okay.
Look over to your right. Your other right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys decide whatever you want. I mean, I'm at your mercy. So you just tell me who's coming up when. I can't really decide. Here we go. Here's Nathan Diaz, the pride of Stockton, the pride of the 209, the legendary MMA fighter, the future UFC Hall of Famer, coming off that big win over Tony Ferguson. Here's my guy, Nathan, my man. Yeah, you could throw that gum, no problem. How are you, my man? Great to see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Please have a seat. Hello, this is cool, right? How about? Yeah, you could take that too. Give it to the people. If you don't mind just grabbing the mic over there. What's up, Nathan? This is fun. We don't get to do this often.
That's cool.
Isn't this a cool scene for the open workout?
Cool.
Look at all these people. Someone asked me, like, who's the big star here? I said, this is Diaz country. Texas is Diaz country. I think you're the fan favorite here, right?
And a lot of love, that's for sure.
Oh, my gosh. Well, this has been great. By the way, yesterday everyone thought that you left the face-to-face because of me, so I told them it wasn't because of me. I wasn't going to take that blame.
That's not true. I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, you guys were all gone.
Oh, that was it. That was it. All right. Nate, this is big. Your pro boxing debut. A lot of people are looking forward to it. You're signing autographs for the people. I remember talking to you after your win over Michael Johnson. What do we got there? What is that?
I think it's weed.
What is it?
Oh, yeah. We had a couple of joints.
What are those? That's an e-cig?
This is a cig of weed.
Weed. Well, can you do that here? I don't know. Do you mind just grabbing the microphone? Or I could do it like this.
Cig of weed.
I remember talking to you after the Michael Johnson fight, and you were saying, I want to box. I want to do this. It's finally here.
Yeah, it feels good to be out and doing what I want to do.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about yesterday before, the bathroom break, and it was our fault that I was telling them, don't wrap it up.
Yeah.
It was our fault, was I think maybe your next fight is going to be in MMA. I don't know where, but I think it's going to be in MMA.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Probably.
What are we thinking?
I'm not thinking past this right now. I said I'll get that done and know what I'm going to want to do. I have ideas, but...
Can you share them with me? No one's watching.
I'm committed to.
Yeah. What kind of ideas? Can you share them with me?
He'd probably either be back in the UFC or do something like this in the MMA style.
He threw out the $10 million offer. Are you
boxing style? Either one. I don't know yet. That's what I mean. So.
Are you interested in that offer from him? The $10 million in the PFL?
Yeah, I don't fight for that organization. If we do something, we're gonna do something real.
In the UFC?
Yeah, well, or a real fight.
A real fight? Maybe a co-promotion?
Yeah, if anything.
Yeah. There's all kinds of co-promotion. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are going to fight in the UFC. Isn't that crazy?
Are they going to?
I don't know, but it seems like they want to make it happen, you know?
Yeah.
By the way, whose side would you be on in that fight?
Out of Elon and Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
I really don't have a preference. I think they're both in one way older than the other.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes
I don't
the older
think they
guys...
should fight. I think they should be nice to each other. And
the world needs more...
And then they should do something with fighting, but they don't need to, you don't need to be fighting.
Okay. Maybe just train. Yeah.
Maybe just grapple each other.
Or just grapple, yeah. Can I tell you something that annoyed me last week?
Yeah.
You created the BMF title, Nate. It came from your head.
Yeah.
You started that.
Yeah.
And then it was corporatized.
100%.
And they made a belt. You know what? It would have been better if it was never a belt.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to create a belt anyway. I was just saying that what it was. I was just saying what it was.
Right.
I was saying the baddest motherfucker, and then the belt came up, and it got even kind of pretty corny, but
yeah,
I'm like, that's what me. And then they're having somebody corporatize it, and now they're fighting for it. And it's like, if you're gonna do it, then they got to be at least eligible, you know, for the position.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I wasn't trying to create no belt. I was trying to just show people the idea of what I'm pushing compared to other motherfuckers. So I think that I'm still the original one and only.
Yes. Did it annoy you that they then were passing it around and now they're like it's not even the same?
No, it's cool though because in this shows. That's why why wouldn't I start my own organization? Why wouldn't I? Because everything with the Conor McGregor fight, that the Masvidal fight, and all the fights that I started making sure I was doing with my own ideas. That's a promotion in itself. I know how to do this. I've been in the highest level fighting the highest level opponents, so I know how to do this. And not only that, but I've been in the biggest organization, the biggest fight organization in the world, probably one of the biggest organizations altogether in sports. And I've been on it and watched it grow through the time longer than any fighter has. I swear I'm probably the longest reigning consistent UFC fighter. And then like they say that about Jim Miller's been here for so long. I was in the UFC before him. I was in the UFC before John Jones or anybody in the UFC. Like any of the stars that were ever started. They say DC's like some OG champion. People talk about me like I'm still some young guy. I'm like, I'm older than you in fight years. All these guys. So I'm like, I grew up in the biggest organization, so I peeped a lot of game the whole time. So when something's not going away that doesn't look right to me, it's because most of the time I'm pretty right about it. And that just shows because all the big fights I've been in, these have all been my ideas. Even this guy, he talks about manifestation and how he manifested all this stuff. I manifested this too. I've been manifesting shit before this guy was even in the game.
Right.
And like what that all comes.
And so
I'm out.
No, he's not coming yet. He's just saying something. I just want to ask you something. You've shown a lot. You've been given a lot of love from the MMA community. Even Conor's been supporting you throughout this. Have you noticed that? And do you appreciate that coming from even some of your old opponents leading up to this fight?
I just appreciate anybody recognizing game and recognizing what's what. And I appreciate that. So, from anybody, you know.
Yeah, but you notice that the whole MMA community wants you to shut this guy up, wants you to end this guy. Oh, we had a little spill there, but this guy's all good. Have you noticed that everyone wants you to end this thing from Nate? From they're supporting Nate against Jake. They all want you to end this whole thing that he's doing against MMA. Do you take that on your shoulders? Do you feel like you could be the guy to do this?
Fantasy just got better. Play better picks.
All right, we'll let you go, Nate. Here he is, Nathan Diaz. What a scene. I appreciate it. Yes, I don't know what's going on over here. This dude just collapsed right in front of us. You saw that?
I know. I'm going to get out of here.
All right, you're the man. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. Much love. Good luck to you. There he is. Yes, there it is. Nate Diaz joining us. The crowd is all here. Everyone's all here. And in a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by Jake Paul. It's tough to hear everything. Look at all these people. Are you guys all here for me? Who do you guys want to win? Jake Paul or Nate Diaz?
Diaz!
Who do you want to win?
Hey, Team Diaz, 209.
Nate Diaz. I'm rocking with Jake.
Who do you want to win, Nate Diaz or Jake Paul?
Nick Diaz. 6 rounds. Knockout. Nate Diaz.
All right, so I got like 2 Jake Pauls and like 6 Nate Diaz's. And yes, as our man over here is saying, first time ever that DAZN and ESPN Plus pay-per-view are working together. That's pretty cool. That's going to ensure that this is one of the most distributed pay-per-views of the year and in recent memory, because these two entities are coming together. That speaks to the power of Nate Diaz, that speaks to the power of Jake Paul, that speaks to how big of a fight this is. So I think there's just one guest left, and that is Jake Paul. Before we get to Jake Paul, who's going to hit the stage, let me see if I can answer a few more of these questions. By the way, shout out to that one guy who showed up with the Helwani, aka Helwani shirt. I'm trying to find the questions here. Some of these are long.
Who's going to be at home on the lazy boy?
Mr. Helwani, it was so great watching you do the things you're best at last Saturday. I can't imagine how you must have felt and probably still feel from that experience. My question is, after less than 1 week from last Saturday, how does Paul Diaz feel in comparison? How's the hype leading up to feel? What are the differences in your overall feeling as we're about to see yet another one of our most beloved MMA fighters go up against the problem child? As always, the Booth Boys' input is appreciated. Thanks again for all you do for us combat sports fans. It's great. I'm excited, and part of the reason why I'm excited is because the likes of Chris Avila are here with us as well. My man Chris, how are you? Big fight for him. You could grab the microphone right over there. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well as well. All right. So this feels to me like you had the Dr. Mikes, you had the Paul Bombas of the world. This dude is cut from your same cloth, right, Jeremy Stephens? In fact, he told me that he's trained with you. Do you remember that in San Diego?
He didn't train with me specifically. He sparred a couple of our guys.
Okay.
But I was there. I didn't train with him.
Okay. Do you have respect for Jeremy as a fighter?
100%. Yeah. He had a good career in UFC. He has a lot of knockouts. I have a bunch of respect for him.
Do you think that this will be your toughest boxing opponent to date?
I'd say so. Yeah, 100%. He's not Dr. Mike, but yeah, I've been running through these guys right now, and it's time to step it up a little bit and show everybody how good of a boxer I actually am. And I know I'm going to get the job done. It's just got to go out there and get it done.
Did you see his first boxing match against Jose Aldo back in April? Did you have a chance to watch that?
Yeah, I watched it. I saw it. I thought it was a good boxing fight.
Yeah, there he is, your guy.
Boo.
I know, I get it. Well, by the way, what is it like? Like, Nate is your guy. He's like your big brother, your training partner, one of your best friends. To be on his pro boxing debut card, what is that like for you?
I think it's fucking awesome to be on a card with Nate. Like you said, yeah, he's my boy, he's my best homie and all that. He's my training partner. We're from the same city, and we came a long way, and I'm honored to be on the card with him, and it's his brother's birthday, Nick Diaz. Shout out to Nick Diaz. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick, the OG.
The GOAT right there.
Who I understand is going to be here, right? Or he may be here already.
Yeah, he'll be here, 100%.
Amazing. He's doing well. Saw him recently as well. And so this is such a big deal for you and the entire team. And now it feels like you're fully entrenched in boxing.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Isn't this crazy how this all turned out?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, though. But yeah, I'm ready to, I've always been consistent in fighting, and I haven't stopped, and all I'm coming with now is more experience. I'm more matured, and I'm barely getting started. I'm like in my peak right now, so it's going to be hard for someone to come and stop me right now. I'm on a good roll, and I think Jeremy Stephens is a good opportunity a good guy to fight right now, and where I'm at, my position and his position. So.
And this is at 168, right?
168.
Is that a good way? I know you've been all over the place, right?
Yeah, I'm no point of going to 55 or 40, whatever the boxing classes are, 47 and stuff like that. I don't need to cut too much weight.
So you like this weight class?
Yeah, I feel comfortable with it.
Because like against Dr. Mike, like weren't you like up at like
85?
That was crazy.
85,
Too
yeah.
big, right?
Yeah, that was crazy, but that was a given. So,
Okay.
yeah.
By the way, what about the disrespect shown to Nate leading up to this fight? Like I feel like people are sleeping on him. To Diaz, people are sleeping on him. He's a huge.
I think that everybody. That's just how people treat him his whole career. So it's nothing new to him, and that's on them. So it's just on Saturday night. Yeah, I'm sure everyone will be surprised again. He ain't gonna be surprised.
Yeah, that's right. He said it once against Conor McGregor. I'm not surprised. What is your prediction for your fight? How does it end?
I don't know how it ends. I know I'm going to go out there and do what I got to do, and I'm going to get to work. I'm sure he's going to come out guns blazing. He's going to try and take me out, and I'm doing the same. I'm going to go out there, try and take him out and outwork him and show my skills, and I believe I got more skills in the ring to get the job done against Jeremy. So props to him, but he better not be sleeping on me.
I don't think he is. Who would have thought? Jeremy Stevens, Chris Avila in a boxing match. Can't wait for it, my man.
Thanks,
Pleasure to be
Ariel.
here again. Good luck to you. Thank you for stopping
Diaz
by.
Army. Shout out NDA Army.
That's right.
And fuck that team.
All right.
100%.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. There he is, Chris Avila. And yes, that's obviously his opinion. We are Switzerland here, okay? We like to be friends with everyone. Jake Paul is in the ring right now. Let's take a look at what he's doing. You know, sometimes he doesn't actually partake in the workout for these. Sometimes he does like the meditation and all that stuff, but this time he's actually moving and grooving. Look at that. A little shadow boxing. He's got the white and black shoes. He's got the team in there. I see J. Leon Love. Is Sugar Shane Mosley in the house? He's wearing the Nike shorts, kind of like Muay Thai shorts, if you ask me. There's the squad. Shout out to the great production team shooting all of this for us. I mean, this might be the best produced show in the history of the MMA Hour. We've never had anything like this, right, Joe? We've come a long way, big dog. We've come a long way. I mean, we're here at the open workouts for Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. Sucks to be you if you're not here. A great scene, a capacity crowd on hand at the factory in Dallas. So many great fans. Diaz country, if you ask me. And Jake Paul, of course, we last saw him in February. Went the distance with Tommy Fury in Saudi Arabia. Oh, Jake's putting the gloves on. Ooh-wee. Jake's putting the gloves on. Doesn't always do that. Well, this is going to be fun. Appreciate everyone who's joining us. Thanks to our good friends over at DAZN. Of course, you could get the pay-per-view this Saturday, August 5th, exclusively on DAZN pay-per-view. Worldwide, here in America, ESPN Plus pay-per-view and DAZN pay-per-view. Also, your cable and satellite providers in Canada as well. Shout out to DAZN in Canada. I was in Canada recently visiting my family in Montreal. You could get NFL action there. You could get Men's Champions League and Women's Champions League. Of course, you got the darts, the pool. A lot to like. Primetime MMA Hour. And a reminder that we'll have one more show for you this week. That's Friday after the ceremonial weigh-ins at approximately 7:30 Eastern. What a weekend for the Paul family. Is this 21? Is this my guy 21? Jake's big brother Logan competing at SummerSlam on Saturday. Oh my. You know, a lot of respect between these two, but I feel like that's going away. And yes, we apologize for any offensive language. That's the fight game, my friends. But like I said, Logan competing on Saturday at Ford Field, asked to be the first match against Ricochet, and then he's getting on the PJ and he's flying to Dallas here to support his brother. And I do believe I see Jake Paul's mom in attendance. What a journey for this man, going from undercard of the KSI Logan Paul fight. Back in the day, the first fight, the amateur fight, made his debut in early 2020 against Anderson Gibb. Knocked him out. Returned to fight Nate Robinson. Knocked him out in November of 2020 in the undercard of the Tyson-Roy Jones Jr. fight at Staples Center. What a scene that was. Then a few months later in Atlanta, fought Ben Askren, knocked him out. And thus began the feud with mixed martial arts, because it was then Tyron Woodley in August in Cleveland. That went the distance. And then it was supposed to be Tommy Fury in Tampa. And Tommy Fury got hurt just 2 weeks before that fight. And so then in entered Tyron Woodley for the rematch, and boom went the dynamite, because Jake Paul knocked out Tommy Fury in the rematch in a crazy scene at the very end of 2021. He took some time off. He promoted the Katie Taylor-Amanda Serrano fight at Madison Square Garden. What a scene that was. April 30th, 2022. Smashed records for DAZN. It was an honor to be there, to do the face-to-face between those two legends. And then he went back to work. Fought Anderson Silva in October in Glendale, Arizona. Dropped Anderson Silva. That was the fight where everyone thought, all right, the charade ends. The feud ends. The charade ends. The journey ends. He ain't going to be Anderson. Remember? Jake? Well, he showed up. Like him or not, you got to respect the fact that he showed up. And he beat Anderson Silva fair and square. And then he went right back in. I thought from Anderson he was going to go to Nate. But there was a big offer on the table to fight Tommy Fury in Saudi Arabia, and he took that offer. And thus, the match that everyone was asking for, or at least the stakes that people were asking for, someone his age and an actual pro boxer, that was it. And in the end, they went the distance, and in the end, Tommy Fury won. I had the fight for Tommy Fury. I thought he won fair and square. It was a tough blow. And so then we wondered, I remembered on the Monday, would he fight again? Would he just go back to influencer boxing? Would it be KSI? Is the Nate fight dead? Is it now Logan versus Nate? What would happen? A couple months later, we found out in mid-April, right after that UFC Miami card, we found out that it's going to be Diaz versus Paul. And like I said, dating back to the press conference in Dallas, a lot of respect between them two. Yesterday, we did a face-to-face. That's going to be out tonight, I'm told, on the DAZN channels, YouTube, etc. A lot of respect. I feel like the respect is coming to an end now. That's the sense that I'm getting. Let's take a listen to what Jake Paul has to say.
His pro debut, not yours. You're looking to get back on the winning end. Your thoughts on this fight?
Man, it's going to be a war, but I'm sleeping this man. He smokes too much weed. I'm the Kush killer.
Tell us about your training. What have you been doing to get ready for this fight?
Man, boxing, sparring, running, jogging, weightlifting, all the things, staying focused 100%. I'm in the best shape of my life, feeling amazing. The vibes are right. The problem children are here, ready to turn up. And we're gonna
Frank,
put this
you're going to let him talk to you about that, like that.
do.
Wow. Problem child.
So you're looking for the knockout. You don't want it to go to the scorecards.
He can't hang in with me. I'm too sharp of a boxer, too skilled, too much power, and that's just the way it's going to go.
All right, any final words you would like to say today to all these great fans here in Dallas and those watching globally?
Texas, thank y'all for coming out. They say everything's bigger in Texas. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Did
sir.
they say that, Frank? Is that true?
That is an undeniable fact.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the problem child, Jake Paul.
All right, there you have it. Is everything bigger in Texas, Frank? Can you give me one good Texas factoid? What do you got off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head here.
Okay.
Did you know that
Yes.
Ozzy Osbourne was banned from the state of Texas?
Why is that?
He urinated on a statue
my
inside the Alamo Plaza in San Antonio.
Wow. I did not know that.
Apparently didn't know that it was the Alamo. You know, he's British. And then this happened, and he was asked never to come back, and they finally rescinded on that and come back.
Okay, so the ban is not still in place.
It's not still in place, but it was like the talk of the town in the 90s, early 2000s. You know, Ozzy Osbourne can't be here.
Okay, what else you got for me?
You know, did you ever see the movie RoboCop?
Yes, I love RoboCop.
All right, so OCP, the company that, you know, makes the robots, whatever, their headquarters is actually the Dallas City Hall. Dallas City Hall was made, and it looked so futuristic. They were like, we got to put it in the movie about robots. Got to have this futuristic building.
Now, where are you from, Frank?
I grew up in Houston.
Okay.
But I was born in Dallas.
Does that mean that you have like a rivalry with Dallas? Like, is it like a, I don't know, like a Cincinnati Cleveland thing?
No, it's always, you know, Dallas has a hockey team. Shout out, Stars.
Yeah.
And they were always a 3 to 4 hour drive away, so they feel like a sister city.
Okay. Yes, I saw GC rocking the Stars shirt. I don't know if he got his camera back. It's quite the scene over there. Did he get his camera back, GC?
No, still don't have the camera back. It looks like they're going to follow Jake here into...
Oh, are you in the mosh pit over there?
Oh, no,
I see him rocking out.
Where is it? Where is he? Where is he?
No, I am not in the mosh pit right now.
Get in there.
I'm
Get
right,
in there.
I'm right by it.
Throw some bows. Get in there. Say, excuse me, Mr. Paul, GC here for the MMA hour. Come on. Let's see it.
There's absolutely no way I'm getting in this, man. I mean, this guy is a superstar, dude.
Yeah, Jake Paul is a superstar. Internationally known and respected. Get a word with Nikisa. I can't get an interview with Nikisa. You know which one Nikisa is, right? He's the one on the apron right over there.
Yeah, of course. Great pink shirt he's rocking.
Yeah, are you next to him?
No.
No? Nikisa, can we get a word? Oh. Hey, guys, who do you like, Jake Paul or Nate Diaz?
Jake Paul. Jake Paul.
Nate Diaz.
Diaz. All right, guys. Jake Paul, is he going to win? Yes or no? Ah, I got a yes, sir. Thank you. Very respectful. Nate Diaz, is he going to win? Yes or no? Wow. Not a lot of confidence. But Jake Paul's 6-round knockout. That's what the man said. And in a moment, don't go anywhere. Our final guest of the day is going to be the problem child, Jake Paul. This has been so much fun. This has been way more fun than our regular shows, I'll tell you that much. Can we do this every week, guys?
I think we might have to.
Let's just take the show on the road. This has been tremendous. It's been a lot of fun working with the good folks at DAZN, and do check out their weekly boxing show, the DAZN Boxing Show. It's been a lot of fun working with the whole team, getting to know the talent. This has been tremendous. I feel alive, guys. What a week. What a week it has been. I had a crazy travel day on Sunday. You guys heard about the travel day? You guys familiar with the travel day, or do you need me to tell you about it?
Enlighten us.
No. We don't need to get into all of that again. But this has been tremendous, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the press conference. Friday we have the ceremonial weigh-ins, and then our last show of the week following the ceremonial weigh-ins. And then Saturday I'll be involved in the broadcast as well. I can't wait. Todd Grisham will be there. Alicia Baumgartner will be there. Sean Porter will be there. Dan Hardy will be there. Ade will be there. Wade Plem will be there. It's a who's who. I love you as well. I love you too. Thank you. Much love, guys. Thank you. Texas loves Helwani. Does Texas love Helwani or what? CEO. Hey, guys, I have a question. What happens when they come at the king? When they come at the king, they best not... People know. Don't get it twisted. Beloved. 10-7. The love. Thank you, guys. Oh my God. You can't see the throngs of people here. Helwani Boxing shout out here. 10-7's CEO this. Chang's that. I mean, it is an absolute scene. This is amazing. I love you, too. I love Dallas. In fact, I hated Dallas as a kid, if I'm being honest. Why?
Well, what?
Well, the truth is, I was a Bills fan, and they broke my heart twice, back-to-back Super Bowls, 93 and 94. But I have to say, the love that I have felt from the great city of Dallas, and really from the entire state of Texas. Oh, yeah, get a shot of the crowd. I mean, it's an amazing, amazing turnout here. The love that I have felt. Oh, there's Jake and Nikisa. Do you think we'll get Nikisa on camera? I'm going to say no. He doesn't like to do interviews for some reason. Only with Murundi. It's crazy. It's a bit of a scrum situation going on. You know what I'm really looking forward to with this interview? Is it possible that there'll be no music and we'll just be able to talk like normal human beings? Wow. Wow, my eardrums feel fantastic right now. This is tremendous. Oh, let me wrap up some of these questions here because we do have to finish that. Moderator Lewis worked so hard. Don't go anywhere. One more guest to go. It's Jake Paul right here on the MMA Hour. We were talking to the DAZN guys, and like, the show's an hour, right? Ha! Not an hour. We go 3 to 4 hours strong like it ain't no thing. Gang, if Gaethje is the BMF and Wonderboy's the NMF, what imaginary titles are we handing out to the crew? Does Frank get the mysterious MFer title? Does Rick get the hipster MFer? Shout out to Rick. Happy birthday, 36. GC, the degenerate gambler MFer? Sorry, Richard. Date Dan Nick. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? I mean, I think we're just the...
Maybe skeptical MF,
yeah,
dubious MF.
The SMF?
Degenerate gambler MF feels like a little too specific.
One time I called John Anik on air a degenerate gambler, and I don't think he liked that. But I was trying to say, like, he was just an avid gambler. Do you think degenerate...
I think avid might be a better word.
Is that a negative term?
Very much so.
I guess technically it is negative, but I mean, it's also endearing as well.
I'm just showing love, right? I'm just trying to say, like, wow, you're so good at this. You're...
I mean, just because you're a degenerate gambler doesn't mean you're good at gambling.
Right. Gotti Bro, Ariel, what's the best event you've ever been to? And take everything into consideration. The feeling, goosebumps, anticipation inside the arena before the card started, and the surge of adrenaline as the fights begin, and buzz and anticipation grows and grows for the main event. And now, compare that to how it felt Saturday for Crawford Spence. I've always said UFC top to bottom puts on a better show, but there's nothing like the feeling of a boxing event at its best. Would you agree? I mean, honestly, it just matters who's fighting. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's boxing. It doesn't matter if it's MMA. A big event feels special. That felt like a big event on Saturday. This feels like a big event, partially because we're here, dare I say, and in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by the man of the hour himself, Jake Paul, the problem child, kind enough to join us. Here he is. What's up, Jake?
What up, man?
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good. It's crazy down there.
This is amazing, right?
So much fun, yeah.
Yo, I've never been to an open workout like this with a ramp, with a PA announcer, with the MMA hour here.
Yeah,
I mean, this is big business.
It's a big business, big show. The fans are out. The energy is up, man. I'm feeling good, so it's fun.
Okay, so a lot to talk to you about. It's very exciting to be here, but I was just saying as you were wrapping up, we all kind of wondered in February after the Fury fight if that would be it. If you ever considered for a moment saying, you know what, this has been fun. I reached the end of the road. Let me go make my millions somewhere else. Let me do my thing. Did you ever for a moment consider that?
Yeah, no, that was definitely a thought because you have to process that thought to double down and reconfirm your beliefs on the opposite side of the decision, which is I'm going to go harder. I'm going to commit myself even more. And the next day was really when that thought came up, the Sunday after the loss. And, yeah, I just was like, okay, let me think about this. Is that what I want to do? Absolutely fucking not. I'm doubling down. This is what I was made to do. I'm a fighter. I'm a winner. That was my worst performance ever. I didn't do good, and I know I could do better. One loss doesn't define me. And look at all the wins I have. Look at all the other amazing accomplishments I've had. And this loss, I believe, put me on a track that I was supposed to be on before.
Okay, so that thought just lasted like 24 hours, if that.
It lasted like 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay, wow.
I was just like, I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. You know, I had a bad performance. I'm going to take it on the chin. And also, a lot of people are following me. A lot of kids. A lot of people look up to me. And what am I going to do? Give up because I lost once when everything got hard? That's when I quit? No, I'm setting an example for other kids out there who are chasing wild dreams to not just stutter in the face of adversity. In the face of adversity, we rise, we get better, and we come back stronger. And that's really what I want to prove to people this Saturday is how to come back from a loss and how to take that and it only to make you better.
Okay, so if that's the mindset, why'd you choose Diaz instead of Fury 2 right away?
I mean, we were talking to Fury, you know, trying to make that happen, but the plan really always was to go to Nate Diaz after Tommy Fury. Like, even in the lead-up, it was Nate Diaz is after this. Nate Diaz is after this. Win, lose, or draw. And Nate Diaz is out of the UFC right now, and so you have to strike while the iron's hot. Who knows who he would have fought. I think he wants to go back to the UFC, so I'm taking this opportunity while it's here. And that Tommy fight is going to come soon enough.
So Nate's manager and advisor, a guy by the name of Zach Rosenfield, told this story to ESPN today, to Mark Ramundi. He told it to me privately, but he said it publicly today. He said that their plan after that fight was to fight your brother Logan. And then there's an actor named Michael Rappaport. Are you familiar with Michael Rappaport? He's not the biggest fan of yours, but anyway, he's an actor and comedian. He was on my show, and he's a huge Diaz fan. And he said, you know what's the fight I want? I want Jake versus Nate. That's the fight. Zach was watching the show, and when he saw that and how Michael was so into it, in his mind, he said this publicly, he pivoted, he's like, forget about the Logan fight, we have to go after the Jake fight. And that's how it started to get in motion. Does that blow your mind? Does that mean that me and Michael kind of made this fight happen? That's basically what I'm getting at. Have you heard this story before?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Okay.
No. This it's news to me, but yeah, I guess. Thanks, Ariel. I don't know. But at the end of the day, this fight was always on track, and I think my brother was trying to figure out if it was going to be him. But I'm focused on Saturday. We locked it down, got it done, and it's a massive, massive fight. So it only makes sense for it to be me.
Can I ask you something? And I'm coming from a place where I have two older brothers. I have a tremendous amount of respect for your brother. I really enjoy him. I think he's doing amazing things in WWE, like we talked about. But I watched the documentary, which, by the way, I thought was fantastic. Congratulations on Netflix.
Thank you.
I've read the articles leading up to this fight. I talked to you a little bit yesterday at the face-to-face, which ended somewhat prematurely.
Yes.
I feel like there's something building here between you and Logan. And I know you guys had a beef in the past, but you guys keep saying things about each other. And then he's trying to go for your fight. Am I crazy? Am I starting something here by asking this? Because I feel like there's something. There's a seed.
No. There's nothing going on.
There's nothing?
Between us. No. Not at all. I think when you're competing in the same sort of industries and doing a lot of similar things, there's going to be overlap. And really, he's my only competition. Who else is competing with me? There's nobody. I don't even know who else to look for. So he inspires me. And we're also each other's best competitors. So I think that's where people see this dynamic between us. But that's just always the way we've been. And without each other, we wouldn't be where we are today because we wouldn't have had the competitive nature to compete with each other to get to this level. So really, without one another, we wouldn't be here today. And that's the beauty of it.
Because you used to compete in the YouTube game, and that got squashed.
YouTube, football, everything when we were kids. I mean, that's what brothers do, and I think it's good. It's driven us to the highest level. And here we are now at the highest level, still pushing each other and being inspired by each other. And that's a beautiful story.
So are you saying you'll never fight him?
No, I would never fight him. There's no point. There's no point in fighting him. I think when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, this is fun, cool, make a bunch of money. But now it's just not the right example to set for other people, other kids. And, there's no reason for us to do that.
Okay.
No one wins in that sense. Whoever would win, no one wins.
Okay. One other question about your family. I don't want to give too much away, but in the documentary, you reveal a lot about your childhood, and in particular, your relationship with your dad. This is a big week for you, a big fight for you. Has that been a distraction at all? That's some heavy stuff you talked about, and I'm just wondering how you're dealing with those emotions that come with that being public, and also this gigantic fight.
Yeah, definitely just focus on the fight. I'm sort of numb to everything else going on right now because I'm just hyper focused and don't have any other energy to spare. So really the fight to me is all that matters. I don't go on my phone really during fight week. I'm not focused on any of the comments or the drama going on around it.
Okay. You and Nate have been very respectful to each other. Were you surprised that he walked out yesterday in our face-to-face, which drops tonight, in the midst of you complimenting him?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's unpredictable. He's a wildcat, but I think it's a good thing. Right now, all the headlines are going to say, Nate Diaz leaves face-to-face. All the fight pages already all posted it. So, in a way, it's actually better promotion for the fight. So, kudos to him. I don't know if he's doing this on purpose, but it's entertaining, man, and that's what the fans want. This is a spectacle. This is a war. This is fun. This is two big names. It feels big. The energy is right. So, I'm just excited, and I have respect for him, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to knock him the fuck out. I'm going to sleep. I'm a vicious fighter. I've made a ton of sacrifice in this camp, and someone has to pay for that sacrifice.
Okay, so that said, this morning I wake up and there's a tweet from you where you're calling him a bully, and it's not so respectful. Why is he a bully?
I respect his career. I don't respect him as a person.
Why is that?
The difference. He's a bully. He's a punk. He beats up innocent people. He's always trying to cause a scene, throwing water bottles at people. He's always high. Like, what kind of example?
Anything popping off between you guys?
I'm not concerned at all in the slightest. And at the end of the day, on Saturday, we get to settle it all.
Why were you okay with 10 rounds as opposed to 8? A lot of people thought
I love a challenge. Yeah, why not? I'm always pushing myself in these fights. I want to do things that no one at this point in their career, 3 years into boxing, has done, and that's doing a 10-round fight. I want to set the precedent, challenge myself, and push my limits, and that's exactly what I had to do. The fight being 10 rounds made me a better fighter for this camp, and I'm fully prepared for it.
Why did you change the vast majority of the people around you as far as your camp is concerned? There's no, BJ Flores isn't here, Shane Mosley is here, among others. Why did you do that?
Yeah, look, change is needed in life sometimes, and people go opposite ways, outgrow each other, and that's that. It's no harm, no foul. All the people that were on my team are amazing people, and I have respect for them, and they gave me a ton of boxing knowledge, which I am extremely grateful for. It's just that sometimes change is needed to shake up an environment and to start from scratch, and that's really what we did.
Can I ask how much you weigh right now, approximately?
Right now I'm like 193.
193. How much do you expect to weigh on Saturday?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably like 196, 197.
What do you think he'll weigh? Like, do you think he'll have a noticeable size advantage? He's never fought at 185 before.
He looks big to me right now in person.
Okay.
He looks like he's walking around 190, 195.
He has still yet to accept the $10 million offer to fight you in MMA. I asked him just moments ago, and he says, I don't fight in other leagues. If we're going to fight, it's going to be in the UFC or my promotion. Would you be willing to do that?
Look, I mean, it would be his promotion with the PFL. For sure. It could be Real Fight Inc. and PFL. And to me, that's a cheap cop-out excuse.
He didn't, completely shut it down, but the PFL component seems to be the issue with him. Is there any way around that? Or if you're fighting MMA, it has to be PFL?
If I'm fighting MMA, it's in PFL.
Okay. You think it happens next year, 2024?
I mean, once I beat his ass on Saturday, he's going to want revenge.
No, with or without Nate?
Oh, potentially. I mean, we'll see. I want Nate. That's
you want Nate
who I
in
want.
MMA?
That's who I want. So if it's Nate, it's 2024, yeah.
And it's a $10 million offer?
Yes, for him.
And has he accepted it? Like, behind the scenes, what is your hunch?
No, he hasn't accepted it. I think he's kind of leaving it open-ended to see what happens Saturday.
Okay, if you beat him, do you think he says yes to it?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll want that get back. And he'll realize that he's not going to get as much money once he loses to me anywhere else.
Do you think he goes back to the UFC if he wins?
He's not going to win.
So don't even think about it. Are you surprised that he is so open to going back to the UFC after it was so hard to get out of the contract?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Like, I guess he's a houseboy and loves to kiss the finger of Dana and to be a good old boy and obey all the rules. This might be too much work for him, honestly. People don't realize that in boxing, when you're your own promoter, it's a lot different. There's more work. There's more that goes into it, more press requirements. So he might not like that. He might like just being a fighter and not caring as much about the business side.
Does the feud between MMA end on Saturday, win or lose? And I know you're confident that you're going to win, but is this the final guy? Is this the final boss, as they say?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know who else is left.
Well, there's one name that's left, right?
McChicken?
Connor.
McChicken. Connor McChicken. Yeah, I mean, he don't want the smoke. He's an alcoholic. He's a drug addict. He's out there getting, causing all these problems, about to go to jail for all of this crazy shit. He's not even worried about fighting right now. Right now, he's worried about being a free man.
So in your mind, you move on. And then what direction are we taking?
I'm just going to keep on going back to the drawing board and seeing what names there are and continuing to get better. And my goal is to become a world champion. And so I'll just be training and see what names come up, and we'll go with that.
Are there any names in boxing right now that are of interest to you?
There are, but I'm focused on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm going to take out Nate, and then we'll see what happens.
And just a couple more for you, if I may. What about the state of boxing right now? I was making this point earlier. 2020, when you got in as a pro, boxing was in a much different place. And right now it's like week after week bang. We're coming off Spence Crawford. Now, in a way, we've got AJ fighting. We've got Canelo fighting Charlo in September. Like, you can make a case right now that boxing is hotter than MMA in terms of big fights consistently week after week after week. Does Jake Paul take any credit for that?
Oh, well, I think I'm a part of it. I'm a part of the big picture. But really, boxing is the key here. It's the best sport in the world. And all of us as fighters are working to contribute to grow this sport. And I think maybe I set a precedent of taking big fights and laying it all out on the line. And I think a lot of fighters followed suit. Oh, Jake Paul came into this sport in 2 years and made $45 million in a year. But meanwhile, I haven't fought the big fight and I'm making maybe $500K, maybe $50,000. I need to lay it all out on the line. So I believe I did set that precedent and showed people the roadmap to making a lot of money and promoting these fights. But it's a group effort, and I commend all these fighters for doing that. But definitely boxing's on top of MMA right now, no question. Not even close.
Well, one of your good friends, part of the MVP stable, Amanda Serrano, we broke the news here. She is going back to MMA at some point. She has signed with PFL. She'll be a part of your pay-per-view super fight series?
In the PFL?
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Or she might just be like...
I think she's going to do her own fights, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
But we could get a card maybe with you and Francis and her all in the PFL?
MMA night.
In MMA. Do you like the idea of her going back to MMA?
100%. She's undefeated in MMA, which a lot of people don't realize that about Amanda Serrano. And it's what makes her, I think, the greatest woman of all time is because of how versatile she is.
Okay, your mic is dying, so let me end on this if I can. Prediction. What is the? I'll just give you the mic, so you put that down. Official prediction. You've got so much power, Jake, that you killed our mic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Crazy how that works. It's unbelievable. Oh, you got a new mic. Okay, we don't have to do this anymore. What is the prediction? What do you think?
My prediction is a 5th round knockout.
5th round.
Yep.
Wow, specific.
Yep.
Why are you feeling that?
I'm just gonna feel him out, weather the storm, and then put him to sleep.
Okay. Are you worried about anything? You know, the punches and bunches, the volume, the awkwardness. Is there anything that he brings to the table that is giving you any kind of concern here 3 days before the fight?
I'm not concerned. I know I want it more. I know what I did in training, and we had people that mimic exactly how he fights. And, yeah, he's going to maybe land a couple of punches. That's the name of the game. That only wakes me up. I'm going to get hit and hit him harder and keep on going and weather the storm and end his career.
Is there any chance, if things maybe don't... Is there any chance this is your last fight?
No shot. I'm gonna win.
All right.
I'm gonna win.
What if you win? Is there any chance it's your last fight?
No, I'm just getting started.
All right.
Let's
I
go.
love it. Thanks, my man. Appreciate it. All the best. There he is, Jake Paul.
Drink Celsius.
Yes. That was great stuff. Some good answers there, some revealing stuff, some fun stuff. Jake Paul, the problem child, here in Dallas. Guys, what a time, huh? August 5th, the DAZN pay-per-view. Are we loving life or what?
Oh, we
so
love
much adrenaline right now.
I mean, it's crazy down here. It's crazy down here. The fans love this man, Jake Paul.
This is one of the best I'm not just saying it. I'm here. I have no reason to lie. One of the best attended open workouts in quite some time. There's a fan base that is obviously pro Diaz here. There's a fan base that is obviously pro Paul. Nikisa. He wasn't.
You tried.
I tried to get the exclusive, but he pretended like he didn't hear me. Unbelievable. We got everyone else, though. Who do we get? We started off with Ade. We had Heather Hardy. We had Amanda Serrano. We had Juana Walton. We had Chris Avila. We had Jeremy Stevens. We had Jake Paul. We had Nathan Diaz. We had Akim Barak. We had GC. We had New York Rick. By the way, this is my favorite. Now I could go for another like 5 hours with the music at this level. This is tremendous. Yes, guys. Well, I'm doing my show. I don't know if you know this. I'm doing my show. We'll go to 7, just so it's a nice round number, if you guys are okay with that. So 4 minutes left on the program. Let me see if there's a final question that I could take here, just to satisfy the fans. Let me see if I could get a short one. Hello. What would you say is the better for the brand of UFC? Aljo, Leon, Izzy all retain their titles, or all 3 lose, and we have O'Malley, Colby, and Strickland as champs by the end of the year? It has to be all or nothing. I don't know. I don't want to put any of that negativity out there. Hello. But I will tell you this: as of right this moment, unless some news has broken since we've been on air, there is still not a main event for the event on September 9th in Sydney, which is wild because that's almost a month from now, a little over a month from now, and the event is sold out. And that is crazy. There's still Just a couple of guys. I'm trying to do a show here. Can you keep it down for goodness sakes? Nah, I'm just joking. There's one guy over there with a BMF title. Yes, got the BMF belt over there. It's not a real title. It's not a real title. You know, you heard me, right? You heard me, my man. It's not a real title. We got an NWO T-shirt over there. GC, any final thoughts from your first open workout here in Dallas? Any final thoughts, GC?
What a day, man. I'm on cloud 9 after this one. We got everyone up there.
Let's get Mike Heck up here.
I'm even with Mike Heck. Do we want to bring him all the way up onto the stage?
Let's get Mike Heck up here.
He's taking my mic. He's taking my mic with him. Here we go.
Mike Heck in the house of MMA fighting. We got all the mics in the world. Here he is. Let's close the show together, Mike. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great.
Of course, you see Mike Heck on the watch party every month with GC and the whole crew. You guys are doing a tremendous job. The reactions to the fights, to the big moments, to the head kick knockouts. But tell us about this. See, you've been to a lot of open workouts. What a scene this has been, right?
It's been wild seeing Nate just kind of doing his thing. If there's anybody who's good at putting their teammates over, Uriah Faber's like one of the first people that comes to mind, and Nate's right up there because he wouldn't do the open workup by himself. He wanted to do it with Chris Avila, put him over, and it's just scenes. The Q&A, just impromptu, and even Jake's as well. Just Jake bringing kids in, taking photos. You never know what you're going to get if you attend one of these, and I feel like being headliners and being the stars that they are, they did a really good job getting the fans involved today.
Yeah, UFC isn't doing open workouts these days anymore, right? So I feel like we've lost that a little bit. And here you had the ramp, you had the music, you had the crowd. What a great crowd. How did you feel about Nate's chances going into this week? And now after seeing him up close, any difference in feelings?
I think the extension of the rounds made things a little bit interesting, making it 10 rounds. And I think most people view this fight the same, that Jake's best chance is getting him out early. If Nate can weather the storm and start to get that snowball rolling downhill, huge thing for him because he is so durable and he's able to turn things over in a dime. So I don't think really my opinion has changed, but since they made it 10 rounds, it definitely makes things more interesting. But Jake just looks fired up. There's talks about him possibly retiring if he loses this fight, so he's putting a little bit of extra pressure on himself. And then on the flip side, Nate, it's like there's no pressure on him. At least that's how he feels.
Seems very calm, right?
Very relaxed.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
I think all the pressure is on Nate.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he wins, he'll have all the leverage, all the momentum. He could go back to the UFC. He can continue boxing. If he loses some of that leverage, right? Or a lot of that leverage. Like, him losing to Jake Paul will be a big thing for him to have to deal with. So I feel like all the pressure's on him. If Jake loses, he could go fight KSI, he could fight an influencer, he could still make a ton of money in this game.
I do feel like if Nate is at least competitive down the stretch, because as you know, Ariel, combat sports is a recency bias thing. So if Jake somehow wins the first 7 rounds, Nate lands a big shot that gets Jake's attention in the 8th and then wins the last couple, Nate is so good at making a loss seem like a win. And if he could just land a big shot, if he can wobble Jake at any point in this fight, even if he loses, just like he did in the Leon Edwards fight. Leon won 24 minutes of that fight. Nate got a little momentum going at a point in the 4th round. 5th round he got going, Nate lands the big shot in the last minute of the fight, and Nate made it seem like, hey man, if this is in the streets, I won this fight. And everyone's like, yeah, you're right, Nate. You're right. So
right.
Nate's so good at doing that. So as long as he doesn't get blown out or knocked out without landing anything, if he can make this somewhat competitive and be able to spin it the way that he typically does, I think his stock continues to go up. I think he can make that into something.
That is true. He is. I mean, he created a title out of nothing, for goodness sakes, and now they're like, defending it all over the place. Does the weight concern you at all? 185 for Nate is uncharted territory.
I mean, it's obviously going to be easier over the next couple of days for Nate. He can just kind of stroll in there and do his thing. Jake just looks so much bigger than him, and he looks in really good shape. But again, I kind of like. Obviously, there's pressure on Nate. If he just gets blown out, it's not good. But can you imagine if Jake Paul, after all this, loses to Tommy Fury, and then loses to Nate Diaz in back-to-back fights?
It's going to be tough.
It's a lot. But yeah, I definitely think the size is going to be a concern. But again, I think the longer this fight goes, I think the more in it Nate is, honestly.
2 last things. And by the way, I failed to mention, this is the voice that you hear at the beginning of On the Nose. That was the voice you heard back in the day for Rick's Picks. We talked about this just a couple of days ago. The man is of many, many talents, so it's good to finally have you on the program. The first thing I wanted to ask was, is this the end, win or lose, of the Jake Paul versus MMA feud? Do you see another guy out there? Does a Mike Perry make sense? Do you think the Conor McGregor fight happens, or does it end here with Nate Diaz, win or lose?
Mike Perry makes sense for like any boxer.
Yeah.
You get Mike Perry in a press conference environment. Just him and Luke Rockhold being on your show and seeing what Mike was able to do with just simple comebacks was incredible. It was incredible theater, and Mike could do that with anybody. There's a history between Mike and Jake. Mike sharing the contract, so there could be something there. Maybe there's a Conor one, but it kind of feels like we're hanging on by a thread. I don't think this is the last one.
Okay.
Unless Nate just runs him over. Like, if Nate just tars him up, I don't know if Jake will be done forever, but he's definitely going to take some time away, I think.
Who's your pick?
I'll go Jake, eking out a decision, but Nate's gonna sort of win the war. If you
okay.
Like, he'll have that Leon Edwards type of moment. I think he's competitive. He will spin it well. People will believe it, and all's well. Jake gets back on track, but Nate is still competitive and makes it feel like he won.
I love it. Thank you so much. GC. He's not. Go tell GC to come up here. Thank you very much, Mike. Really appreciate it. Great stuff. And let's end it with GC next to us because he made that incredible open. Here we are, DAZN pay-per-view one last time. Go check it out. Oh, there he is. There's the troublemaker. I'm not going to talk right now. I just have to say goodbye, and we'll talk in a moment. But let me give a shout-out to our good friends over at DAZN. Again, Jake Paul versus Nathan Diaz, August 5th on DAZN Pay-TV and also on DAZN.com. Here he is.
Wow, look at this.
The biggest baby face in the business. He's rocking the cowboy. I thought we could go home together here.
Oh, I mean,
we could send it
I'm
off.
honored to be up here. I mean, I get to show off my hat a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't get. What happened to the camera, by the way?
Dude, I mean, I went to go do another hit, and the next thing I know, like, it's gone. He's not there anymore.
What?
On the walkouts, they said I lost access to it.
Jeez Louise. At least we got you guys on one.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I got to show off the belt buckle. Belt buckle's so heavy.
This is
it actually
it's weighing you down.
Yeah, it started weighing me down. I actually had to lose it.
You have to take it off.
I had to take it off, man. Yeah. I got to get a stronger belt.
Is this purchased in Dallas or?
No, not in Dallas. This is a nice Michelin Nest purchase. Had to do something for Frank, man.
Yeah, I know. And the hat is from Billy's?
This is from Wild Bill's right here.
Bill's.
This is a custom. This is customized right here. This is only I have this one with black straw.
Yeah, I like
it's too
it.
hot for the felt.
No, I like it.
Yeah, 105 degrees here.
Great job with the custom intro.
Oh, you liked that?
Whose voice was that on the plane?
Oh, that was mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy almost missed his flight yesterday. First work trip.
Oh my God! You should have seen me. Usain Bolt through the airport. Made it by about 10 seconds.
Really? Legit. As they're closing the door.
Closing the door, and like they given up my seat, but they had one seat left. I had to sit in the middle seat. Gave up my seat. They had to entourage me. I was the last one on.
Wow.
Everyone was staring at me.
Imagine if you would have missed this.
Oh my!
I mean, you would have been here by now. But
I would have been here by now. But like, hey, imagine me making the call. Like, yeah, thanks for getting me the flight. I missed it, guys. I'm sorry.
How much fun was this?
Oh my gosh!
Tremendous,
right?
Blast.
An absolute blast. Running around. I mean, it got so crazy back here. Getting Nate Diaz here.
Yeah.
Talk about a superstar, man. I mean, he's about to leave over there.
He was about to ditch us?
He's not about to ditch us.
Okay.
And then I can actually see her right there. You must know her name in the pink skirt. She's like...
she works Aggie.
Starts bringing him through, and like we've got cops over there. There's like 3 police officers, like 8 security guards moving him through just to get him all the way through back
and
here,
I'm just sitting up here chilling.
Yeah.
Like there's like no
I'm
worries in the world.
Everyone is trying to get pictures. Everyone's trying to get autographs. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Everyone did such a great job. Of course, the MMA Hour team, the Vox team, everyone at home as well, everyone on site, the whole crew is out here. The DAZN team did a tremendous job. The whole production team that is working with us, tremendous job. So we can't thank them enough. And I say we do it again one more time.
Friday?
Yeah,
American Airlines Center?
Imagine we were just doing one. That wouldn't have been fun,
no.
right?
I'd feel like I'd just fly home tomorrow if we were just doing the one.
Yeah, that's true. We had to keep you around. You're going to the fight, too.
Oh, going to the fight? Be at the press conference tomorrow?
Be at the press conference
Ceremonial
tomorrow.
weigh-ins on Friday, fight on Saturday?
Well, our show after the ceremonial weigh-ins.
Of course, yeah. I mean, hang out.
So our show will be at around 7:30 Eastern. Luminaries will be stopping by. I'm told the much talked about on this program, Alicia Baumgartner will stop by. Sean Porter, who fought both Spence and Crawford back in his active days, he'll be working on the broadcast. He'll stop by as well. Who knows who else will stop by? But I think it's time to say goodbye here. We've been going 4 hours strong.
It's been crazy, man. This is the first time I've sat down whole 4 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't sat down.
I've been chilling up here. It's
yeah,
nice
I mean,
up
you got
here.
it nice, man.
But I feel like all the
It's
DAZN
not bad
peeps
at
are
all.
like, all right, Helwani, enough of this. So let's...
You got the fans. You got the fans waiting here to mob you.
I'm being
as soon as you
honest,
get
I'm
off the...
trying to go as long as possible so the fans leave so I don't have to shake hands. But it's not working because there's
man.
still
the amount of people
a lot.
that have shown love. Yes. They're like, when can I see Helwani? When can I see?
Yeah. Oh, I heard someone say start hitting out. That's perfect. Thank you so much to everyone watching at home. Frank, you can hit our music. This has been a tremendous day in the history of the MMA Hour, right, guys? A tremendous day.
This man Jordan right here skipped work. Skipped work.
Yes. Shout out the chat, baby.
I think that's Osseo, right? Osseo, bro. 12-month subscriber right there.
Wait.
Osseo, I'm sorry, bro.
What, from his picture?
I've been mingling, bro. I've been mingling. I wish you had the camera.
Oh, thank you. And hopefully Dean Henderson, too. We'd like to keep him. Frank, I don't even know if the music is playing. Is the music playing?
I can't hear
It certainly is.
It is? You're going to have to count me down, Frank, because I don't hear a single thing. Oh, is that where we're at? Okay. I'm starting to hear...
Feeling it?
No, I hear nothing. Oh, wait. Now it's a little bit louder. Well, it's been a great day. Thank you so much to everyone who has stopped by. Thank you to all our guests, from Ade to Jeremy, to Juana, to Heather, to Amanda, to Jake, to Nathan, to Akin Barak, to GC, to Mike Heck as well, to everyone who put this together, for all of us. To the good people at the factory here in Deep Elm. Are we getting some Texas barbecue now?
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm going
There's
to
quite
eat
a few
so
spots.
much.
I mean, you got to be hungry.
Oh my gosh, you know yourself. I am starving right now. So maybe the good people who are still here with us, maybe they can give us some options, some Texas barbecue. I don't know. I'm not much of a barbecue guy. Do they do it well done or what? No? If I rock up there and ask for well done, I see our cameraman, our camerawoman is laughing at me.
Oh, yeah.
Laughing at me. She's mocking me, guys. I like what I like, okay? I'm sorry. Anyway, tremendous show. Loved it. It's going to be amazing on Friday. We'll be back then, all right? Back on Friday, same time and place. Until then, well, actually, it's not the same time and place. Until then, I say peace. I'm out of here.
This is it. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view August 5th. An icon of the MMA game, ready for war against a global superstar. Set to bring the pain, to silence the haters, and leave one victorious. Like it or not, this is the most explosive fight of the year. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Ready for war. August 5th, live globally on DAZN pay-per-view. Sign up at DAZN.com.